Here, thank you for everything. Wonderful game, wonderful beginning, intriguing, passionate, purposeful. It was all of that. We had some guys that singled themselves out with their playing and their playing ability. A lot of guys you doubted. One of them from HBCU. I think he had 510 yards passing in a Power 5 football game. And he happened to be my son, and I'm proud of him tremendously. Defensively, we had some letdowns, but the guys came and made the plays when they needed. I think we broke a record. Everything we do seems like a record. 4 receivers with 100 yards. We didn't run the ball greatly, but we threw the heck out of the football. Savion, another back, played a great game. All the guys contributed, Dylan as well as Hankerson. The line did their thing, fought their butts off. We got to fix some things on defense, especially special teams, because I think we gave up 3 or 4 turnovers. We gave up the kickoff. We had a fumble. A couple other things happened in the first half. But hats off to the opposing team. They're coached greatly. I believe their head coach, I love him to life, what he did, turning the program around at SMU as well as here last year. Good man. I had a moment with him in the middle of the field when one of the guys were injured, just to let him know how much I appreciate him, how much I respect him for what he's accomplished, and I really look up to him. He's a good man, and his team was well coached today. Let's have some questions so I can go back and enjoy myself with my kids.
Brian, go ahead. There's no mic.
Coach, how much fun was today for you just to see all the hard work come and you guys produce a victory in that first game?
Well, it was, I'm not going to say it was fun. It was satisfying in the end. You got to understand, time the second ticks off the clock, I'm ready for the next. Like I'm thinking, okay, we got to fix this, fix that, because we got to be much more dominant next week in all phases, not just one phase, but offensively, defensively, special teams. Offense, we did it. Defense, we got to fix some things. And special teams were horrendous. We got a kick block as well as Durner gave up a touchdown. That was horrendous.
All right, I'll go ahead.
How you doing, sweetheart?
Shador broke a single.
For real? Shador Sanders from an HBCU?
Absolutely.
The one that played at Jackson last year?
The one that played at Jackson State last
The one that you asked me, why would I give him the starting job? But like no, not you. I got receipts. I know who they are.
I never
Not you, baby. I just gotta say it.
I would never ask.
I would never do that.
No. My question. He broke a single
Wow.
record for Colorado with 510 yards. At what point do you get to take off your coach hat and put on your dad hat and actually get to just enjoy what you saw?
He and Shiloh just came when I was in the training room getting my foot worked on. He and Shiloh just came, and of course Junior was filming it, so we had a dad moment. They were really happy, elated. Shiloh came in there being apologetic because he noticed a couple tackles he missed. I'm on his butt right now, but he said he had 10 tackles, and I checked the stats, and I think he did. So, but I was just dad in there moments ago, and I'm proud of both of them. Really, I really am. And Junior, as his work shows. His work is why some of you are here.
Deion, your other son, Travis Hunter,
Yes.
playing both ways. Can he keep that? How amazing?
Can he? I try to tell you, but you ain't want to believe me because I'm just a lofty old young coach. I don't know nothing about football. I just played in the NFL for 14, played at a high level in college for 4, and been coaching youth all the way up for a long time. How do you think we got Dylan Edwards? I coached him when he was 4 to 7 years old. That's why we got Dylan Edwards. So Travis is him, like the young folks say. Travis is it. I really think, I always promote all my kids. I really think we got a couple guys that should be front runners for the Heisman right now. That's how I feel. And I want to promote my kids at all costs. We got a couple of them that, who did that? Who did what they did today?
Adam, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned Dylan.
Well, Dylan Edwards is phenomenal. I've been saying that since he was 4 years old. And we see that in practice all the time. Don't let the size fool you. Dylan looks in the mirror like Shallow Hal. He thinks he's when he looks in the mirror, he sees a 215-pound man that's probably about 6'4". That's the way Dylan addresses life. And I think he had a little injury of his ankle early on, and he thought it popped. I'm like, no, God wouldn't have brought you this far for that. Not right now. Watch the impact you're going to have in this game. And he had tremendous impact. Dylan is a dog, man. But you're going to consistently see what he does on a weekly basis because this is how he practices. This is how Travis practiced. This is how Shador practiced. This is how those receivers I've been talking about that you didn't believe, this is how they really go to work. The defensive front, I mean, this is how they went to work as well. We got to clean up some things, but those guys, I think they played a pretty good game.
What do you say to people that question the transfer portal, get rid of all the kids, come to HBCU, can you do it? You know,
turn on the film.
Methods of your match.
I tell them to turn on the film. We're gonna continuously be questioned because we do things that have never been done. That's the way our life has presented themselves. We do things that have never been done, and that makes people uncomfortable. When you see a confident black man sitting up here talking his talk, walking his walk, coaching 75% African Americans in the locker room, that's kind of threatening. Oh, they don't like that. But guess what? We're going to consistently do what we do because I'm here and they ain't going nowhere. And I'm about to get comfortable in a minute. Because guess what? These young men in there right now, they believe. Not all of them believed before, but right now, they came up one by one, twos by twos. Coach, we believe. Now they believe. Now Boulder believes. People in the front office, people in the building, the fans, the students. Now everybody want to believe. I'm good with that. We got room.
You say you believe, you always believe. At the end of the game, you shared an emotional moment with your coaching staff. What was going through your mind at the end of the game, and why were those tears coming?
Because I was just thankful. You got to understand, I'm human. You know, I deflect a lot of things, but I'm human. So I feel some things, and I'm a natural giver. I'm a natural giver. I give. And every once in a while, you know, I have one of those empty moments that I got to reflect on. And these coaches are so good. Rick, George, for giving me the opportunity and just what we accomplished out there today. Ain't none of y'all believe that. Maybe a couple of y'all that knew me and know how I get down. They know I'm a winner. We're going to end up winning. Ain't none of y'all thought you was going to be sitting up here. You supposed to be on the other side, you know, interviewing that or coming and asking me, oh, what happened? You said this and you said that. Yeah? Now what? Now what? Everybody quiet now. Now what? Come here, dog. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
It's one of our guys that does the podcast. I appreciate you, man.
God is good.
I appreciate you, dog. Straight up. I appreciate you, dog.
Bless you, man.
Keep on doing what you do.
I always.
Thank you. That's one of our supporters when none of y'all was supporting us. He had our back. You believe, didn't you?
I did.
All right. What's up, boss? You believe now? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe now? Huh? Oh no. I read through that bull junk you wrote down. I read through that. I sifted through all that. Yeah. Oh no. Come on. Do you believe?
In what?
You don't believe.
I believe.
You just answered it. You don't believe. Next question.
I don't know.
You don't believe.
Throw me over
You
here.
don't believe.
Throw me, go ahead.
Going into this game,
What's up, girl?
Coach, going into this game, you said the players want that smoke.
They want all of it.
What was the reaction in the locker room after winning the way they did?
We really haven't met yet. We really haven't met yet collectively to kind of engulf everything. We may do that on the plane because everybody's going to be there. But because I wanted them to enjoy the moment, go see their parents, their friends, the loved ones who truly supported them and came all the way here. So I didn't want to just call a meeting real impromptu because I was in a lot of pain. I had quite a bit in doing what we're capable of doing. Hats off to the defense and how they were steadfast today. They atoned for the disappointment that we were last week defensively. We still gave up a few plays, but overall, I think we forced three turnovers, interception, I think 2 fumbles, so 3 turnovers, and we didn't give up explosion to the end. So I'm really proud of the defense. Special teams stepped it up. We didn't have nothing crazy that transpired, and Jace Philly is who he is. He's unbelievable. kicking the ball in. He kicked it off in the end zone, and we punted the ball really well too. I think we got a couple inside the 10 as well. Coaches did a great job. They called a great game. Some things that they're calling, we're just not doing what we're capable of doing, and they get the blame for it. But the kid is just in the wrong gap, or not feeling like he's supposed to, or not blocking, or running the wrong route. So overall, it was a win. To just think that we played like we played and we won by that margin, that's a pretty good feeling for any coach. And I think for you all to see what we're capable of doing. I keep saying more and more young men as well as coaches are believing. I think we're up to probably 80% now of young men in that locker room, as well as staff and support staff, truly believing what we're capable of doing. It's not believing in me, it's believing in what we're capable of doing. That was the question I posed to the gentleman last week. It wasn't about me, it was about the young man and what we possess. Let's go.
Ariel Arsuto, 9 News. After last week's win, the talk was just about truly believing and really kind of the us against the world mentality.
Right.
After this week's win, it was a very different type of win, more decisive type of win. What is the mentality this week?
We didn't just want to win, we wanted to dominate. In the first half, we weren't dominant. In the second half, we got it together and we began to dominate, but we wanted to really impose our will, because the whole theme of the week was it's personal. One of the funniest moments in the darn game, after Shador took his helmet off after he made the tremendous scramble, it was like a Heisman type play, and I went over and said, you cannot do that. You cannot take your helmet off. He said, Dad, it's personal. And I just laughed. I just bent over and laughed my butt off, because it was in the moment and I was really upset, and he broke the monotony up with it's personal. So they really took it to heart, that whole theme of the week. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach McMillan, Fox 31.
How you doing, man? You been better?
I'm doing a little bit better.
Amen.
When we met with you in the spring and we first asked you about Shador, you told us that growing up his nickname was Grown.
Yeah.
We just met with him and he said when Nebraska came out, Matt Rule and the team, they had a meeting, on the Buffalo, and he went in there and disrupted, and he said, he talked about my pops and I took that personally.
That's right.
In the second half, he leads your offense after a slow start. As a father and as a coach, how proud are you when you watch these moments where he takes leadership upon himself and represents not only the program but also your family in these moments? And also, how would you rate his
one at a
primetime
time. I'm
shuffle?
56 years old. One at a time, man. One at a time. Give me one question at a time. I can't remember all this stuff. As a father, I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of Shiloh as well, as Junior as well, doing what he does for social media. He's very mature. He's always been very mature, very astute. He studies his butt off, and he's prepared. I'm not happy that we surrendered 7 sacks, I believe, today. But once we got it going and he got his rhythm, he performed greatly. But to take the onus on himself when someone talks about me, that's how he grew up. If someone talked about my kids, I handled it. That's the expectation of a father, not a baby daddy, a father. I'm a real father, and I take pride in that. And I try to teach my sons the same. But overall, as a coach and as a father, I'm truly proud of all 3 of my sons and what they contributed on a daily basis. Yes, sir. Just talk, man. I hear you.
Just your thoughts on seeing the scene out there, both before
Beautiful.
the game, during, and then afterwards.
Beautiful. A lot of this stuff is new to me. You got to understand. So I know I've been to the highest level in World Series as well as Super Bowls, but in the coaching aspect, in Power Fives, just to see, I think it was a sellout last week. I think the most broken attendance record, I believe, for TCU, and what we accomplished today. And to see that many people that came to see us perform, it was tremendous. Not just the number, but the energy and the love and the expectation. I love that. I really did. I'm driving over to the set for the big noon kickoff. It was phenomenal. Just feeling the energy of the student body as well as the fan base here was unbelievable. That was my first time. We didn't get to really feel it in the spring because it was snow. I didn't want to go out there, and it was cold, so I didn't really get to feel it. But we felt it today, and I'm pretty sure the kids are gonna have a good time. Hopefully, they go get a nap and then wake up with some energy, and they can celebrate with their families. Great question, though. Yes, sir.
Randall Williams, Bloomberg News. I've spoken to a number of local businesses, economists, and no one has quite been able to measure the impact that you've had on Boulder since you arrived here.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about that and what you expect?
Well, I think we're going to measure the impact that we have on Boulder. That's business. So we're going to measure the impact. It's hard to say what that means and what that is. We're just happy. The thing about it, I'm not really thinking about the economical impact. Really, I'm thinking about the social impact. I'm seeing more African Americans than I've ever seen before, sprinkling throughout the stands and the stadium and at restaurants and everything, and I absolutely love it. The thing about sports, the thing about competition, when Shador's out there doing what he's doing, and Travis and Xavier and all those guys, they're not black Colorado Buffaloes. They just Colorado Buffaloes. And we all come together, and I think we're bringing people together. We're uniting, and that's the part of it that I adore. I truly do. Thank you.
Coach, Brian Howe from the Daily Camera.
What's going on, boss?
You had a couple guys like Chick and Cam that didn't play a whole lot last week, but had big impacts today.
Yeah.
Does that help with that belief that more guys believe when they know that they're going to get their shot?
Well, you got to practice. You got to practice and prepare in order to get your shot. You can't just think you're going to get your shot and you act meandering around practice. Chick has really been in the playbook. He's a Fort Myers boy, so I have a vested interest in him. I want to see him do well. He's my homeboy coming from the hometown. And Cam played for me in high school. So I definitely want to see these young men go out there and perform. But they had to get it together at practice before we were able to put them on display for the whole world to see. And both of them came up big. And Chick was darn in tears at halftime. He was just thanking me for giving him an opportunity. I'm like, you earned that, my man. You earned that, and I'm proud of you. So I love those type of stories.
Jake, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwannis, DMVR.
What's going on, boss?
Doing well. How you doing?
Excellent.
How would you describe the connection that Shador and Xavier Weaver have?
Shoot, they see the stuff that you see on the field. I see at practice. I've been saying this for a long time. Everyone's just getting an opportunity to see it. Xavier, man, is a dog, man. He is a go-getter. He wants that ball. He high points it. He can get deep. He's great off the jam, great run after catch. He's really a return man as well. And the kid loves the game of football. So I promise you, you're going to see a season filled with that because that's the kind of kid he is, and he loves to compete. He loves to compete.
Hey, Coach, Eric Christensen from CBS Sports Colorado. How you doing?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
You said the defensive tone for their performance last week. You said the theme this week was it's personal. They played like a unit who really took that to heart. Can you just speak a little bit more about their performance?
Yeah, I mean, they're not happy or satisfied with how they performed last week. That's not indicative to who they were. Coach Kelly called it an excellent game. I'm hearing it on the headset. And, guys got out of their gaps. They just didn't miss tackles. They just didn't do what they're capable of doing. But today, early on, just starting out the game the way they started was phenomenal. And they truly believe that they could be a dominant force. Mix in a few more sacks and pressures and keep the quarterback in the pocket. Coach Kelly went crazy when that guy slipped out of the pocket. I wish you could have heard it on the headset. He was about to lose his mind. But overall, they really played well, and we're proud of them. But we still have to fix some things if we want to be who we want to be.
Coach Matt Smith, 104.3 The Fan. Could you evaluate Shador's decision-making today? Felt like maybe a couple times holding on to the ball, even he admitted it.
Yeah, you got to understand, when Shador holds on to the ball, it's not just he's just holding on to the ball. Somebody probably ran the wrong route, or somebody was signal, or something happened. He never just sits back there to hold on to the darn ball. And his read may be here, but you may see a guy wide open over there, but that wasn't his read. They probably blew something, but that was his read. So the thing about him, I used to question him all the time, especially coming up in high school and coaching him because I was calling the plays for him. But then when I watch the film, I understand what he's saying. So I've learned to not be too quick to judge him when I don't see the full picture, because he tells me what's transpiring.
Coach Romy Bean, CBS Sports.
How you
Colorado.
doing, girl?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Excellent.
Well, one thing that seems to continue to stand out is the mental fortitude of this team. I mean, last week it was going toe-to-toe with TCU. This week it was finding a way to win despite that slow start. Can you just speak on the mental strength of this team?
They're mentally tough. I mean, we look for the smart, tough, fast, and disciplined young men to fill our locker room and our rosters, and the majority of them feature several of those characteristics. I'm proud of them that they don't tire. You know, they don't have a pity party. You know, a coach hates to hear the word "my bad" on the sideline. You hate hearing that, but they're really upset when they know it's their fault and they made a tremendous mistake to allow their team another possession. But they're getting it. I mean, they're getting it. It's only our second game in, but they're getting closer and closer with every day of practice and in every game. I'm proud of them. I really am.
Hey, Coach. Brandon Crisall from KOA, your radio partner. It looks like College Game Day may be coming here. Big Noon on Fox is coming back. You said this is new to you. It's certainly new to a lot of folks around here.
No. The media ain't new to me.
Not the media. That's coming. College Game Day hasn't come to Boulder very often. And they don't go very many, they can only go 12, 13 places a year. So how satisfying is that you tell these kids, come here, we're going to build something special, and it's coming to fruition?
Well, we expect it. I know it sounds kind of boastful. It sounds at the risk of sounding arrogant. We truly expect that, and that's why those kids come. They want the biggest stage, and they're getting that during the week. And the numbers justify. What numbers did we have last week? Over 7 million? 7 million viewers on Fox. I think it was their biggest opening day in their history. First game out, so shoot. I'm pretty sure these numbers are going to justify it as well.
College Game Day just made it official, by the way.
Hey, man, you go, girl. You go, girl. It's the way to get that. I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. Yes,
Coach.
sir.
Hey, Coach. Donnie West from the Big Dog Chico YouTube channel. We've been following you from there.
Yeah, I check you guys out.
And the team. But just wanted to know a little bit about your thought process when it comes to Travis Hunter and him playing both ways, like given that from the perspective of you and the player to play both ways.
Well, you got to understand, everybody who's critical of that and saying when he's going to tire and he's going to do that, they can't cook and answer the phone at the same time. So I don't subscribe to that foolishness, because that's who Travis is. Thank you, Pastor, Dr. Teacher, my man. That's my pastor. When your pastor bring you some water, you know you got it going on. Love you, Pastor. But Travis is he's special. He has a tremendous gift, and he wants to play. He loves to play. It's 6 o'clock this morning. Probably was 5:45. I get a text every game day. Let's go. That's what I get from Travis every game day. Let's go. Let's go do this, Coach. So I love him like he's my son. I treat him like I would if he was my son. But he's a tremendous player, and you got to put him on display and consistently put him on display. He loves to compete. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Pat.
Coach, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. What does it tell you about your team that you've won these two games, completely different styles? Kind of a classic shootout last week. This felt more like a backyard brawl until you pulled away late. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you about your team? What does it mean going forward?
It tells me that we're resilient, that we're tough. I mean, we weren't as disciplined as we normally are early in the game, but we played a smart game, and we just got to start quicker. We got to start quicker. We got to come out and let's go. But I'm happy that we had the ball in the second half. That's a lot. When you're able to go down and score, then you know you're going to get the ball in the second half. That's like doubling down, and I love that. But this team hasn't scratched the surface of what it's capable of doing. We still got some players that are really good players, but they hadn't thrusted themselves into that spotlight yet because of the lack of consistency. But they're going to get it. I truly believe in that.
Hey, Coach. Xavier Rolfe with Future Sports Broadcasters of America. I'm wondering, was the defense a big focus during the week leading up to the game?
The defense is always a focus. We don't just focus on one unit, but they're always the focus on fixing the things that we were horrible at a week ago. And we tried our best to bring resolution to that, as well as change personnel so that we would be better in those areas. But they played their butts off.
Okay, just one or two more. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Coach Jimmy Searfoss, 247 Sports. There's a lot of recruits in the building today. What does a win like this in front of these fans say to those who are kind of sitting on the fence?
It says ain't hard to find. That's what it says. And the thing about it, you got to recruits analyze everything, because I analyzed stuff when I was a recruit. So they sitting out there seeing, understanding their position, saying to themselves, I could do that. I could play for them, and I could do that right now. And then the atmosphere on top of that, and you don't have to sell Boulder. Boulder sells itself. So we're not selling anything. We're not promising anything. We're just giving them an opportunity of a tremendous education and a tremendous opportunity to get to the next level, which is the NFL, if they come here and play for us. But it would be tough for me to turn this down if I were a recruit, especially if I'm the parent.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Nikki Edwards, CU Sports Report. We saw Bishop Thomas waving his hand in the end zone. We saw Shane Cooks on the offensive line.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what went into your decision-making on putting those defensive guys in the offense?
They're better blockers than the offensive guys that we had doing it, because they're grinders. They defensive tackle, so they know how to get low. They drive and shoot. They were better. So I said, put them in there. And the formation that we use them in is called Rick Ross. So when they say Rick Ross, they can, like they ready. So that's what we do. I was hoping Bishop caught the touchdown pass. I'm pretty sure we would have got a penalty, but I just wanted to see it.
Okay, last one from Mick over there.
Hey, Coach, I asked Shador to grade his primetime shuffle after he scored that rushing
It was
touchdown. He
horrible.
said it's in his blood, and he gave it a 10 out of 10.
It was horrible. It was horrible because he don't kick the feet up. He don't want it. Excuse me? No, he don't want it. He don't have. Shador's not a dancer. The only I can't dance either. The only dancer in our family is Bossy, my daughter. She's the only one that really has rhythm. The rest of us, we didn't get that. The Lord passed us when it came to dancing. Couple more, because I'm feeling good right now. Couple more. Yes, sir.
You've talked about the impact the defense had today.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about it. Talk about them enjoying the throw. And is that built to your specifications?
No, they did a wonderful job. Shoot, is it Icy Breeze, right? What's that? Isn't that the company? Icy Breeze. They did a phenomenal job. First of all, I love what they do, and just to build that throne for the guys to run over to celebrate, they got it. I love stuff like that. I mean, that's what guys want to do. So I'm all for it 100%.
Coach, just real quick, your assessment of the running game. I know it looked like you guys
We
were trying.
We're trying, but I mean, it's hard to be overcritical when I think Shador's. What did he do? I forgot how many yards. I think he had. They didn't even put it on there. Excuse me.
397.
No passing, but
Rushing.
Rushing, yeah. So he added to that, but Dylan with 55 yards. We got to do better. We got to be more physical, especially down in the goal line. And we throwing the darn ball. We run, man. Run. And, have an attitude that we could run and punch it in. And we got to improve on that. We got to be a lot more physical minded. One more, and I'm out.
Coach Sean Keeler, the Denver Post. You ever been there? Because you talked about this with a field storming like that before. What was your view of that? And I'd seen something I hadn't seen here. They asked the students to not come out. They said, Coach Prime says, don't come out. They all came out. I can't believe it.
Well, I seen a club storm one time when I was in the club. I'd never been on the field that was a storm, There's a lot of storming in the hood where I grew up at. There's a lot of storming at the skate rink. There's all storm at the end of that every week when you heard gunshots. But that was phenomenal. I didn't get a chance to really see it because the security team was getting me out of there, but I'm pretty sure. And by the way, Rick George and Peggy got game balls today, and it was phenomenal after the game. And I don't know when we're going to cut it up and put it out, but wonder when. We didn't attain it the way we desired, but a win is a win. You're going to have those type of games, those type of contests throughout the season. The best thing to do is to be resilient when you're not playing your best, to be resilient when your opponents are playing their butts off, and you're able to come back and win the football game in the manner that we did. So we're thankful, we're appreciative, but now it's on to the next chapter. We've announced a sellout for all the home games this season. First time in the history, we sold out every home game in the season. ESPN announced 9.3 million viewers, most watched late game ever. fourth best regular season game in the last 6 years. ESPN fifth most watched game ever. Most streamed game of all time. Peaked at 11.1 million viewers from 9 to 9:15 Mountain Time. CSU had 25.3 million viewers through 3 weeks. This means a lot of eyeballs. We're the fourth team in FBS history to start 3-0 after being defeated in 11 games. I just hate that we're losing. I'm sorry. Being defeated in 11 games. Yeah, the last team to do it has Minnesota in 2008 up under Tim Brewster. Amen. Blah, blah, blah. The rest is about Shedeur. We forced 4 turnovers for the second straight game. The first time this happened in back-to-back games in 20 years. This is incredible. Our kids are getting eyeballs, they're getting viewers. We get scouts out every day to watch them do what they're gifted to do. They're excelling in the classroom. The things I hear about them when they're amongst the community, they're very respectful. So not only do I want to and desire to win on the field, but I desire to win off the field as well. And I think we're winning. Let's go.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howell from the
What's
Daily
going on,
Camera.
boss?
Well, I have a 2-part question, if I could. First, how's Travis doing?
Travis is doing great. Got out of the hospital yesterday. He's at home, doing his schoolwork, playing video games, being Travis. He can't wait to get back to continue to do what he's capable of doing.
And then the second part is with him out, at least this week, what is the plan at corner? Like, is Cormani ready yet?
No. The plan at corner is corner by committee. That's why we practice. We're going to see who steps up and takes over that role.
What's holding Cormani back at this point?
He is.
Hey, Coach Mick Miller, Fox 31. I'm assuming with Travis being out and this being a team, your first game in conference, you're going to need as many leaders and dogs on the field as possible. What are you looking for in players to be able to have that on their jersey and in preparation for this game?
We're looking for the next man up. We're looking for someone else to step up and take control of this. I mean, Travis J had a great practice today. He still got a little limp slightly, but competed his butt off. And we have talent. We just got to get the talent to be talented and to do what they're capable of doing. But it's no one in the country could fill Travis Hunter's shoes. You got to understand he's a unique player. He's one of a kind. He's the best player on offense, the best player on defense. That's just who he is in the country, not just on his team. So having guys step up, they just got to step up and do the job that we're asking them to do.
Hi, Coach. Adam Munster, Tiger 24/7 Sports. One of the stars late in the game on Saturday was at a different position in the spring. When did you identify Mikey Harrison as a guy that could help this football team?
Mikey's versatile. I mean, Mikey's kind of a small tight end and a very large receiver, which don't fare well at times. But he overcomes that by his work ethic, by what he applies to the game, his knowledge of the game, being where he's supposed to be, doing what he's supposed to do, and going full speed at all times. And practice is where you build a trust with your quarterback. So just being here in the time that he's been here and being able to be on the field and work with Shedeur, that has created a level of trust that he is found to be dependable in certain situations. And that's what he was.
Hey, Coach, Pat Graham, Associated Press. Really quick, just a clarification. With a lacerated liver with Travis, does it change the timetable at all for his return?
No, sir.
And then my question is, when you look at Shiloh and what he does back there as a defensive back, do you see some sign, some look of yourself, or is he just a completely different player?
I never compare my kids to me. That's not fair as a father, and a lot of fathers do that. They want their kids to walk in their footsteps and live their life. My kids and I, our deal we made when they were young lads just getting into sports is, you don't have to be me. Be the best you that you can be, and give me your best. That's our deal. So that's who Shiloh is. Shiloh is a bona fide leader. He's a dog back there. He plays hard, plays tough. He's a physical kid, and he loves the game of football, and he loves playing for Coach Kelly. He really does. Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Nick Rothschild, number 7. You just read all those TV numbers, and you've said from the very beginning this isn't shocking to you because it's what you expected.
Right.
But what has been the reaction in the building to sort of the speed at which all the eyeballs have gotten here?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of immune to that kind of stuff. I'm so focused and locked in on what we do from day to day, week to week. But I'm happy that I see that our different athletics are benefiting. I want to see the girls basketball team hosting visits and bringing the girls to our games and bringing them to me so I can meet them and we could close, as well as the boys, as well as other sports as well. This is a great time to bring people up for a visit so they can see the true atmosphere of what we possess and what we bring. And CU athletics is we're rolling right now. We want to keep it going, but we want to help one another.
Hi, Coach. Ariel Rossuto, 9 News.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you. So obviously this last game was a lot about resilience, winning in a very different way.
Yes.
How does that then translate into a very tough test against Oregon this week?
Well, we're not trying to just be resilient. We don't want to get to that point where we have to be resilient. We want to get out to a great start. We have not played a complete game. We have not played a game where the offense, defense, as well as special teams has all shown up in the same manner. If the offense is playing well, the defense is hot garbage. If the defense is playing well, the offense is horrible. And special teams aren't special. So we got to put it all together to be able to defeat a team like Oregon in that manner. We got to put it together.
Hey, Coach. Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You've been pretty open that you like to have the different uniforms every week for the team.
Yeah.
I know you guys did that last year at Jackson State with a different combination. You guys have done that so far this season. What does that mean to you to be able to do that? And what has it been like working with Nike this season here as you guys are, doing the different uniforms here?
Well, that all starts with Smitty. We have a wonderful equipment man that sees and poised and understands me. So. And us traveling with Rick up to Nike to talk about these different things that kids desire. I mean, you got to understand the team that we're playing right now, that's what they're known for. They play great football, don't get me wrong, but the versatility in the uniforms and the flashiness and what they bring. I can remember coaching high school and my kids in the locker room talking about Oregon and their uniforms, which is wonderful. So we could simulate that, emulate that, and imitate that in a certain way. It's productive because kids you all want options. That's why you're working, right? So you can have options to go buy what you want to buy, get what you want to get, do what you want to do. So just giving the kids those type of options is phenomenal for young men.
And just for you personally, being back with Nike now, I know in the past you guys had a little bit of a strained relationship, but being back with them now, what's that been like for you?
It's been wonderful. They've been above board. They've been excellent. They've committed to the program. They've committed to me personally, and I love every bit of it. And the fans in CU is benefiting also. So it's a beautiful marriage.
Coach Sean Keeler at the Denver Post, two-parter about physical play in that game. First, do you worry that some coach or someone somewhere looks at that film, at that tape, and says, I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him late. I'm going to hit Shedeur late because maybe that's our shot.
That's not having character. I don't know how you're going to have success and longevity in this game, coaching in that aspect. I don't condone that. I don't teach that. I didn't condone it when I played the game from any of my teammates as well. We want to play clean. You want to be dominant, but you want to play clean because at the end of the day, you want your opponent's respect. You do. I'm not saying that's what transpired, but it's unfortunate if it did. What's the gentleman's name? Henry Blackburn. I want you guys to record this and run with this. Henry Blackburn is a good player who played a phenomenal game. He made a tremendous hit on Travis on the sideline. You could call it dirty. You could call it he was just playing the game of football. But whatever it was, it does not constitute that he should be receiving death threats. This is still a young man trying to make it in life, a guy that's trying to live his dream and hopefully graduate with honors or degree, committed to excellence and go to the NFL. He does not deserve a death threat over a game. At the end of the day, this is a game. Someone must win, someone must lose. Everybody continues their life the next day. Very unfortunate. I'm saddened if there's any of our fans that's on the other side of those threats. I would hope and pray not, but that kid was just playing the best of his ability, and he made a mistake. So I forgive him. CU, our team forgive him. Travis he's forgiven him. Let's move on. But that kid does not deserve that.
The other follow-up to that, and I appreciate you saying that about Blackburn, because that was the other thing I was going to ask, was do you worry that there's going to be a target on Shador's back given the hype and everything else?
I think there's a target on every great player's back, isn't it? Last time I checked, but that should really challenge your offensive line to do their job, shouldn't it? Because if you stop the quarterback, if you stop a Travis Hunter, if you stop a Jimmy, if you stop these guys, you're stopping the offense. Bo Nix is pretty darn good too. We want to stop him, but we're not going to do anything absurd or dirty. We don't believe in that. This is a game. I mean, we want to win, but we don't want to step outside the lines to win. Character is everything with us.
Hey, Coach. Jason Jones from Buff Beat. You've mentioned before that you're the only coach Shador has ever known. Mm-hmm. And I was curious, from Jackson State to now, high school, whatever it is, in these 3 games, has he done anything that even impresses you?
I mean, his consistency impresses me. When I see him in a presser, it impresses me. When I saw him on stage with Stephen A. as well as Shannon, and that impressed me. He's a really knowledgeable kid. Sometimes he was reluctant to let his personality go, but now he's home, man. He is. Remember when I said I'm about to get comfortable? He's gotten comfortable. So, and I know him, as my son. I know when he opens up like he's opened up, he's comfortable, and I'm proud of him in every aspect.
Hey, Coach. Ryan McFadden from the Denver Post.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you a question about the cornerback position.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a lot of young corners come into the league and make an immediate impact, whether it's year 1 or year 2. I was wondering, why do you think that, and how much has the college game impacted?
I don't follow NFL, so I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. I don't really follow the NFL game, and I haven't followed it since I was out commentating it and broadcasting it, so I don't know how true that is. I'm happy for those youngsters if they're able to come in and show immediate impact. That's not easy by any standards, but I'm happy for them, man. I wish I followed them a little more so I could ride with you on your statements. I just don't. I'm so into what we do and what our opponents are doing. That's what I'm into. I don't really look outside these blinders.
Jimmy Searfoss, 247 Sports. Oregon's head coach has spoken about Colorado a few times in the past. Is it personal once again this week?
I respect the heck out of this man, what he's accomplished, stepping in, taking over a program, and keeping it not only rocking steady, but accelerating it. So I'm not a fan of anybody. I mean, except for some of the celebrities that got a tremendous gift, but not in sports. I respect the heck out of him. I love what he's accomplishing. I love who he is, the way he runs his team. I love the way he operates. So I've got a lot of respect for him.
Coach, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. A little bit ago, you described the defense as hot garbage, but you also
No. Don't take my quotes and run with it. It was moments in the game that our defense have really played pretty good football this year. I mean, it was moments that they played badly. Yeah, moments that were hard garbage. Offense have been too. Special teams have been too. I have been too. Coaches have been too. So we all have hard garbage in moments.
The question then, I wanted to ask about the takeaways. Maybe you want improved play out of the defense, but they're still making game-changing plays, and it's guys across the board that are doing that. What do you credit that to? All
we
the
get to the ball. We practice getting to the football. We practice a certain physicality. The way we practice is normally the way you play. It's hard to practice soft and then go out there and play hard, and vice versa. But I attribute that to the way we attack when we're on the field. When we're not playing well, that's one guy blowing the coverage, one guy not carrying the receiver, in the seam, one guy not being in his zone to carry that crossing route. It's always one guy just doing his own thing instead of having a unity of 11. That's what makes us hot garbage. One guy.
Coach, we talked about the slower starts the last couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
I was just wondering, do you believe any of that is attributed to balance of the offense, run versus pass?
No.
And in that vein, do you expect Alton McCaskill back this weekend?
We took off his yellow shirt today, so he's practicing. He's able to be hit. He's ready. I feel like he's ready. I don't care what the ratio is run pass. I really don't. I care what the ratio is on the scoreboard. That's what I care about. I don't give a darn what run pass.
I just meant more in relation to the slow starts. You were saying after the game that you couldn't figure it out.
I don't like us to run the ball just for the sake of the ball. It's a 2-yard loss or a 1-yard gain. I don't believe in that. Everything you do in life should have a purpose. Let's be purposeful when we do things, not just do it just to do it.
Last one, go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Coach, Ryan Koenigsberg from DNVR. You generally have a pretty aggressive approach when it comes to fourth downs and stuff like that. Just curious where that philosophy came from, and if you like to coach those moments from your gut, or lean on something else.
Gut. Believe in it's what your team is doing, what your team is showing you. I'm aggressive because I'm aggressive by nature. I'm a go-getter. I'm a doer. I'm an attacker. Like, I don't sit back and wait on nothing to happen. I'm gonna go make it happen. One thing that I think, I haven't gotten this question yet, and I can't believe it, is that overtime, we wanted the ball. Well, y'all ain't asked me about that. Why did I want the ball? I wanted the offense out there. Why?
You want the ball in Shador's hand.
You go, girl. You go, girl. I want to put the darn ball in Shador's hand. Why? Because I know what he's going to do, and it's going to put pressure on him to do something that they're not prepared to do consistently. That's why. Charlotte say, Daddy, and he called me Dad. I'm like, I'm not your dad. I'm your coach right now. He said, you putting the defense out there first? I said, no. Your brother's going to take this, and he's going to do what he does. That was really the conversation.
Did you expect it to flip back the other way in overtime?
What you mean?
Where after the first overtime, I felt like previously it would go the reverse. So
Yeah, we thought, but they told us no. They I don't know where it came from. No excuses, no nothing. Their coaches did a heck of a job preparing their team. Obviously, we didn't. That was good. I mean, that was a really good old-fashioned butt kicking. We went into the game wanting to dominate several phases. We lost offensively, defensively, as well as special teams. That fake punt kind of got them really rolling, and they didn't stop. Ever since they secured that first down, well-coached team. Bo Nix played his butt off. Defensively, they presented some things that I guess we just couldn't get around. We couldn't advance the ball rushing or throwing the ball as well. Seemed like they had our number. But hats off to their coaching staff, to their head coach. Great job, and they're truly prepared.
Ariel, can you yell it?
Yep, I'm going to try to yell from all the way back here. Ariel Lucido.
How you doing, Ariel?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excellent.
With a good old-fashioned butt kicking like that, is there anything you can really learn and take from it, or is it really easier just to kind of wipe the slate clean?
No, you can't wipe the slate clean. You got to watch the film and evaluate. I'll do that on the plane, but I saw a lot of it live. Just players that weren't in position, that didn't do the job that we expected. You evaluate players, you evaluate coaches, you evaluate everything when it's a game of that nature. And you had no opportunity to win, period, from the kickoff on.
Ryan, go ahead. Hey, Coach, you mentioned that the last couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
You guys aren't doing well.
Yeah.
Does something like this maybe hammer home that message to these players and say, see what happens when you go over?
No, you don't need to hammer home a player. A player knows. I mean, he could fool himself and trick himself, but when he looks at the mirror, he knows what he's looking at. Something like this is I'm not going to say, people around the country would say this is what they needed to humble themselves. We wasn't arrogant or whatever. We're confident people. If our confidence offends your insecurity, that's the problem with you. It's not us. We expect to do well. We expect to play well. We expect to win every game we step out there. We expect to practice to perfection and go out there and execute the things that we practice. We just didn't do it today. But it's not something that was needed. It's just like saying you get in a car wreck or something. Oh, he needed that to slow him down. You don't need that. That's just stupid. It's just something that happened, and they got the best of us today. That's just it.
Did it seem like Oregon was doing things you weren't prepared for?
No. It's not like we were being tricked. We knew everything was coming. Even after one of the TV timeout, we were saying they're going to take a shot. They're going to take a shot. They took a shot, scored a touchdown. I mean, sometimes your message just don't translate. You gotta really get on the same page as the youngsters is out there playing. No, definitely not. If we had a talent gap, we wouldn't be 3-1 right now. And it's not a talent gap. You just got your butt kicked. It just happens sometimes. That's just like a fighter. You just got caught. It happens. It's not a huge talent gap. I just think they played a really concise game. Penalties murdered us. I don't have the statistics, but I'm pretty darn sure we darn near doubled them in penalties. Usually we are really sound, fundamentally sound team. We don't make foolish mistakes and implement danger or harm on ourselves. Field position wise, we just kept making mistakes. That's not indicative of who we are.
How much was Travis missed?
Travis always gonna be missed. He's the best darn football player in college football. How is he not missed? It's just like saying you write an article and your pen is missing. Well, that's how much he means. Yes, go. I'm not gonna say that. You don't always have to get your butt kicked to learn. You can win and learn. I mean, that's not something to learn. It's something to glean from. It's not just the kids. The coaches are accountable too. We are all accountable. Let's start with me. We're accountable for this. It's not just the kids. The way we played, that really surprised me. We played like hot garbage. That surprised me. I didn't expect that.
Coach, Shador told us he thought on a lot of the sacks he was holding the ball too long. Would you agree with that?
I got to watch the film. I mean, sometimes he is, sometimes the routes, sometimes the call, sometimes the blocking. So it's a whole lot goes into that. So you really have to watch film to really dictate and understand what transpired on that specific play. It's a lot goes on in the play.
What's the message to the team afterwards?
Get your butt up and let's go. We ain't got time to have no pity party. There's nobody walking around the locker room with napkins and tissues. Get your butt up. Let's get on that plane. Let's go. We got work to do.
I guess on a positive note, at some point you had some guys play today for the first time. Was it good to get some of those guys finally going, all of them?
No, because that means you got your butt kicked. When you start putting guys in at the end, that means you got your butt kicked. No.
But I mean, like Travis, Jay, you guys played early.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted them to play, but I mean, no. Well, we had to score. We had tremendous opportunities all game long, but it seems like we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. And every time it gets something going, here we go with another penalty. Here we go with another holding. Here we go with just something. We just got to perform better, much better, in every phase, not just offense, defense, as well as special teams. We got our butts kicked again, I reiterate, in all three phases. Say that one.
Sorry, yeah, the offensive distribution for the Ducks on the ground and through the air was pretty even.
Yeah.
What aspect of Oregon's defense did you struggle with most today?
They got to our quarterback. They got to our quarterback. When you get to our quarterback, it's a wrap because it's not like we're running the ball successfully. So we gotta let them ask a couple more. I ain't got nowhere to go. So.
Coach, special teams besides the fake punt that they ran, were there some other things in the special teams?
Well, there's only two things happen. I mean, the fake punt that they ran, and I think they blocked the field goal. How you block not field goal? I'm sorry, extra point. How do you block an extra point? How do you not? And I asked Mata what happened. He just said he put his head up. He didn't get the ball up, so he took ownership of that. But I'm like, come on, man, don't kick yourself. This game is out of reach. Don't ponder that. You're a great kicker, and you're gonna come and do some phenomenal things for us this season. And this is the kind of opportunity you have as a coach, as a man, as a father, to lift them up. Not just shoot them down. You got to lift them up.
Coach, there aren't many 1-11 teams from last year that come into a season and have like this type of target on their back.
Right. I don't think it's a target on our back. I just think this just teams are trying to beat me. They're not trying to beat our team. They keep forgetting I'm not playing anymore. I had a great career. I'm serious. I got a gold jacket, ain't back. So I'm good. But that's what it really is. I don't think they get any extra satisfaction, you know. It is what it is. And I signed up for it, so let's go. No, that don't make it tough on our team. These are grown men. I'm not out there. If I was out there playing against every coach I played against, we would be totally dominant.
Coach, you made mention the other day, the first day was in town, that you're about 7 to 8 dogs away.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. I didn't. It translates in practice. I don't say stuff just to say it for a click, contrary to what somebody say. But I keep receipts. But I'm serious. I analyze and I understand what we're up against and what we have and what we need. One thing that I could say honestly and candidly, you better get me right now. This is the worst we're going to be. You better get me right now. Now somebody, I got messengers. God bless him though, man. He's a great coach. He did a great job. God bless him. He take their shots. They won. I don't shoot. I don't do that. They won.
Anything else for Coach? You talk about needing to build them up a little bit.
Excuse me?
You talked about sort of needing to build them up after this result. How do you find the balance between tough love and
Well, I think the film is going to speak for itself when they watch the film with their position coaches and as the offense and the defense. But singularly, you're able to pull some guys aside and pick them up and highlight some of the good things that they did. Everyone didn't play bad. That's not the good. Every coach didn't coach bad. That's not the case as well. But we got some work to do, and you better get us right now. Because I like what I see. I love I know I have on shades, but I can see the future, and it looks really good. So I'm excited about it. I really am.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. God bless you all, man. Be safe. A wonderful win. Joking. Wonderful game. Played our hearts out. I just addressed the team and told them that I love each and every one of them, and coaches included, because they were resilient. They did not give up when they had multiple opportunities to give up. They fought to the end. We sustained injuries. Next man up came in and did their thing. Marion played his butt off. I think he had a $196. Who else? Several guys played. Kamani came in and contributed tremendously. Did a great job going in. Still had some special teams weren't special. As normal, we got to fix this. We say this every week, but we truly got to fix this one way or another. Running game showed its face, and you see how better the offense flowed with the running game. We're still getting out to tardy starts. We got to come out ready to play it. I don't know. I got to fix that myself personally. We can't come out and make a surge, and right before halftime, then we start saying, okay, we're in the game. They played wonderfully. The quarterback was resilient. They ran the ball. They had hit us with some big play screens and some backside things. But, coaches always say, we didn't do this or we didn't do that. They force you into doing certain things and they force you into making mistakes. But we got to just fix the little issues that we're having. And I don't know if that's age. I don't know if that's just new to the systems. But overall, I'm really proud of not only the young men, the coaches, the fan base, the student body, all of you. I'm truly proud of the way we represented Boulder today. I really am. Let's go.
Hi, Deion.
How you doing?
So, Deion, the throw that Shador made really impressed with himself.
Right.
I want to ask you two things. One, when you saw that play, that's a play that is beyond an NFL play. There was no space.
Right.
You found some place and did. Where does that part of him come from? Do you remember any moments when you were raising him that he started to show that kind of acumen on the field?
Well, his nickname in my phone, and most of you know this, follows us, is Grown. He's very mature. Grown. G-R-O-W-N. He's very mature for his age. He's very confident. He don't flinch. He never gets flustered. He's the most sight quarterback in college football, and you can tell with the way he carry himself. He's just a kid that we all knew, and a multitude of our fans know, and some of you wonderful and brilliant writers know, that if we would have got that ball last, we were going to go down and score. We knew that. We know that. Everybody in here knows that. His teammates knew that. And that's just what he brings to the table. He's unflappable. And he's very wise and understanding on the whys and the calls in what he sees out there on the field. He thinks a multitude of things through, but he's a dynamic athlete and a dynamic young man. I'm proud to be his father and his coach. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And that is a true championship, Mike. And congratulations on my performance was incredible. In the locker room, that echo supporting himself.
Well, not early on, no, not whatsoever. You got to understand that you can only hold people accountable when you're doing your job. You can't go around here holding everybody accountable when you're not doing your job. So the more that these young men do their jobs and do it like the expectation that we have of them, then they can hold others accountable. But they're tremendous reluctant. There's only a few guys on this team that consistently, you know what you're going to get week in and week out, as well as practice. So once that continues, I didn't think we was going to get that from Mario. I ain't seen that yet. No, I mean, he hadn't practiced well. That's why he hadn't played. But he was forced into action, and he showed up and showed out, and we celebrated him after the game because of how he stepped up. And now I'm pretty certain that his confidence is going to soar through the roof. So now we could really call set plays for him and really depend on him a lot more, because when he could take the pressure off Xavier and Jimmy, and in the running game as well, that's tremendous. But I'm proud of him. Yes, sir.
Sometimes your team's got off to a slow start.
Jackson State. Where we get Jackson State from and all this going on? All this going on, where we get that?
But when you all flip the switch, it's almost like a completely different team.
True.
How do you all get that beginning of the game?
That's game planning, that's scripting, that's going out there understanding what's at hand, and we don't need to get warmed up to do this. We got to come out smoking and ready to go. Like when we come out the locker room, we're ready. In between the kickoff and the first series and the second series, that's when we have a little lackadaisical type of effort. But that's going to have to come from the coaching staff as well as the OCs and the DCs to make sure they put us in the right situation so that we're ready to go and understand the personnel that you have out there on the field, and making sure we could call certain things that they can fulfill, so to speak. Great question. Yes, sir. Ariel. Yes.
So you talked about how you were really proud of this resilient team. I don't know whether or not you believe in moral victories. Your son doesn't.
I don't.
Your son doesn't.
I don't. No, I don't.
He said he doesn't either.
No.
But is this, at least the second half team, is that the team that you imagined you would have when you stepped foot on this field?
No. The team I imagined I would have would play 4 solid quarters and be really physical and really tough and definitive and just make our mark and leave an impression on not only the opposing team, but the coaching staff as well as our fan base. That's what we want to do. We yet to have an identity. I challenged them all week on what's our identity. I don't know who we are. From week to week, I don't know what we gonna do. You know, from practice to practice, I do, but we got to translate that into the games. So we're still searching for our true identity.
Was that close to an identity?
Is that
second half of play, was that close to an identity?
We gave up points. We still giving up points. We got to stop giving up those type of points and spotting teams. Yeah, you don't want to do that. We're too vulnerable. But and saying that is no excuses whatsoever. But 3 starters short in the secondary. A tremendous backup right tackle came and did a phenomenal job as well. When Savion went out, and we were praying for the big fella because he was in tears and he wanted to fight and keep it going. But I'm like, hey man, we need you for the long haul, and we're praying for Savion as well.
Coach Prime, Joe Rico, Miles, Sports
opportunity to have a final word. I thought with the transfer portal, that's all I heard in the offseason, but it was nice to see the freshman class come through with some really big plays throughout the game, not only the receiver, but Cormani. You know, I've been up here for practice waiting for him, and it was really nice to see him show out. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's got to be a feather in your cap, you know, him taking the field and playing so.
No, I don't. There's no feather for him to take the field and play. He's supposed to take the darn field and play. We want him to be that dude. So no, we don't give feathers whatsoever. We have an expectation of what they should be doing and accomplishing. So, but those two young men today, what they did, they stepped out and kind of separated themselves from their yesterday. Their yesterday was terrible. But today they came out and established themselves. We just want them to build on it because now we will establish an expectation of the expectation that we already had for them. I'm proud of them. And with their success as well, you see young guys. I just saw a couple recruits in. They can't wait to get here in the spring and get going. I mean, so that entices them to make sure they get their schoolwork so they can graduate early so they can get here and get going. So that's the win as well. Yes, sir.
Brian Howell from Daily Camera. Obviously, when you took it last week's game and then the first half of this week, like you were starting to fall off the rails a little bit. When you guys finish, I know it's a loss. Is that important for you guys? This team finish where you did?
Well, it's always important to finish strong. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm ready to go. Not home, but ready to go with it. It's always important to finish strong in whatever you endeavor to do. Why would you start if you don't want to finish right? And I've always prided myself on finishing strong, not only as a player but as a coach as well. In building our team in that aspect, we're well conditioned, we're in shape. It's not like we tire down the stretch, because usually when people tire, they start losing the thought process of, and they start blowing coverages, missing assignments, offsides. And I think we did a good job in penalties. That's one thing we harp on: penalties, time possession. We won time possession today, but give me that stat on penalties. Where were we penalized? Yeah. 7 for 60. What were they?
5 for 37.
That can't be true. Heck, you only have 5 penalties. Well, they had a couple double penalties one time. We should have took both of them. That would have helped us. Yeah. That and the pass interference on the sideline was really. Fish is like, is anything can I help you with? I said, yeah, that pass interference on the sideline. You can help me with that. That was a big call. That was a big call, but they did a great job. Yes.
Your boss, 24/7 Sports.
Yes, sir.
A lot of Hankerson today. Why was he standing out?
He ran the ball hard. He ran good. He's been consistent every game. We try to let everyone touch it to see, how are they going. I think we had maybe 4 or 5 tailbacks that had the opportunity to touch the ball today. That's a good thing, because all of them want to play, because all of them deserve to play, because they're really, really good. But Hankerson stood out. He hit it. And, he had a couple one-on-ones in the secondary. I wish he would have shook him and got out of there. But you want to just push pause right there and just throw Dylan in there and see if Dylan can wiggle out of it. But Hank is resilient, man. He's been doing a good job. All these guys came, try to come in and force him out, and he wouldn't relinquish his position. So I'm proud of him as well as a man. Yes, sir.
Coach, about how everyone believed that if Shedeur got the ball there,
yes,
the offense got the ball late, you guys were going to go down and score. I don't know if everyone would have believed that would have been the case in the second quarter. So what does a finish like you guys had do for this team to believe you moving forward?
It's tremendous belief-wise, but we got to believe no matter what. It can't be just because it's a quarter or the second half. We do believe in 2. Like, we do. I don't give a damn what down it is or what quarter it is or what time of day it is. We do truly believe in what he's capable of doing with this offense. We just got to make sure we keep him in the right situations and protect him. Because, shoot, he's a baller. He's a now player. He's a today player that young men want to play with. Receivers are calling from all around the country, want to play with him as well. So, they're encouraging him not to look down the street too far, like we all are encouraging him, because we understand what's coming. If you can't see what's coming with CU football, you've lost your mind. You're just a flat-out hater if you can't see what's going on and what's going to transpire over the next several months. Something's wrong with you. Yes, sir.
Could it be so easy for this team to feel sorry for themselves?
Yes, sir.
Folded down 37, especially after what happened last year. What do you take away in terms of that light bulb moment that went on for them?
Well, we challenged them tremendously at halftime to, everybody say they want the light until they get in the light. Now, when you get in the light, the thing about the light, it echoes your blemishes. So we challenged them to come out here and like, I ain't got time to be trying to fire you up and give you the most dynamic speech that I could craft, intellectually, and use some true words that I have to look up in my vocabulary and thesaurus, how to say that word, Pastor? Thesaurus, yes. I ain't got time for that today. I just wanted to come out there. I want them to lift me up, motivate me, encourage me. Not that I needed it, but I wanted to flip the script on them because I knew what they had in them. All they had to do is believe. And regardless of the color of the uniforms on the opposing team, they just have to believe. And that's something that they're doing.
Looking for the best price on it? Kelly Blue Book price of...
What's going on in Michigan that you got to come down?
Yeah, I guess you guys are raising dogs. Yeah, if you're raising dogs, that ain't hard to find. Raising cats, I am. How you doing? Excellent.
What do you think of
from the naked eye, I think he played well. I would have to watch the film to make sure, it is what it is. So it's hard. It's hard to say now. Then you go in and watch the film and you don't know. So I want to really reserve that to watching the film. But I'm proud of him for just even stepping up to the challenge to get his butt in there and make a difference. I'm proud of him. I really am. You'd be a fool not to, because you're not going to play if you don't. You're going to sit right over there, probably where you sitting at, and watch. But I'm proud of the kid. I'm not going to change. So somebody's going to have to. Yes, sir. Okay. How you doing?
Outside of the state of Colorado, you have thousands of people who have embraced the mission here, the team here. Is the team aware of that? And what are your thoughts about all of the love you're receiving?
I don't know if it's all love. I don't think it's all love. You haven't checked the responses from the coaches that we participate against. But we're excited, truly, with the attention that's warranted to this wonderful, beautiful university. I'm excited and elated to be the coach here. I'm excited to really talk about the wonderful attributes that we possess. The young men, they don't see it because they're in it. Oftentimes we could step a foot out of it and we see it from another viewpoint and an advantage point, but they don't see it, and they're so young. I didn't see it either when I was in college or early in my pro career. But I am happy and thankful that we are a voice of hope, of just desire and want. I think that's the thing that's touching souls around the country, that that down and out person, that person that no one believes in, that person that no one desires, that person that stepped over, stepped by, and stepped through and stepped past, that we represent that person, because no one wants to see what we're doing. They don't want to see us accomplish what we're doing. And I said, and I will reiterate this, you got to be crazy if you can't see the direction that we're headed. And I'm so happy and thankful to be the head coach of this wonderful university. Thank you. Yes, sir.
We all know how good Caleb Williams is. If he doesn't play that way at that level today, do they win?
I don't know. The kid always plays that way. No, I haven't seen him play badly. I think, he had some throws that I'm sure he would have wanted back, but that kid is a flat-out baller, man. He is a difference maker. He makes them better. His thought process, even just directing traffic and putting them in the right play calls in the right situation, he does a wonderful job of checking off and just changing things and getting the ball out of his hands. It was a pleasure for me to play against them and their head coach. That was fun. That was fun for me. That really was. Probably didn't look like it from probably the shots they probably showed. I don't know what they showed, but that was fun. That was fun. We good? Excuse me?
That's wrong. Sorry.
That throw was fascinating.
Excuse me?
Throw, Shadur.
Oh, the throw. I thought you said dead roll. I was like, what is that?
That throw was fascinating. We see this as fans. We're like, wow, that's incredible. We don't see throws like that. And you and Shadur seem to feel like it's normal. Is there anything he does that makes you, impress with you or kind of wow you or shows you out?
3rd and 3.
No, I'm his dad. Like, I have an expectation for him, and I've been seeing this, and he's been built and reared for this his whole life. I mean, you didn't believe it. I believe, everybody from the previous locations that we played. I mean, the kid has always won. He's always been dominant. He's always been smart and intelligent and concise. He's always been a competitor. He's always lifted the level of competition, and he's always given us a chance to succeed in every level. So I could go on and on, but I don't want to sound like the dad, but I'm just really speaking to you as the coach. I tried my best not to speak to you as the father, but the kid can flat out play. I know a lot of people doubted him and said I just thrusted him into the starting position, what they call it, nepotism or whatever. I'm sorry, I haven't seen this yet. Thank you all for being here. God bless you. Appreciate everything. Wonderful win. Played like hot garbage. I'm trying to figure this out. Sick of it. I really am. I'm sick of us coming out here and putting forth the effort we put forth in the first half. We've flipped practices. We've had really diligent meetings, and we're trying to figure this out. Trying to figure this out because I'm sick of it. I'm sorry. I'm happy about the win, but I'm not happy in the fashion that we won it in. We're better than that. We really are better than that, and we got to start showing that. I expect to win, and I expect to win in a better fashion than that. I'm sick of these consistent holes that we're displaying and the penalties and the things that we're doing. We're so much better. I apologize for my anger today, but I don't accept mediocrity. Maybe you do. Maybe you can live with it. Maybe you sleep with it. Maybe you lie with it. Maybe you're comfortable with it, but I'm not. Let's go.
That second drive, was that kind of part of it there? You called 2 timeouts. It looked like you guys were really just trying to break through the wall and get a score. It was like you weren't.
You mean the second drive of the game?
Yeah, it looks like you weren't okay coming away with nothing there, right? You had
the second drive of the whole game?
Yes.
What about the first drive? What about the first 2 plays?
Right.
How do you start out a game like that?
Yeah.
With a quarterback like this?
What's the message to the team to get them to?
I've delivered every type of message you could fathom. It's not just the team. This is all of us. This is me and the coaches included. This is not just the team. They glean from us.
Brian, go ahead. Coach, there was a drive late in the third quarter where I think Shadur got sacked at the end of the drive. He goes off the sideline. He's sitting by himself. The offense is down here.
He's mad.
Yeah.
He's upset with the way this looks.
You can tell
he's upset with the way it's going. He's upset with hit after hit after hit. You think he's happy being the most sacked guy in the darn in college football, and he's still doing what he's capable of doing? He's sick of it.
So when he comes out that next drive, that was the pivotal drive, I thought. How key was that drive for him coming out like that?
Every drive is key. Every drive is key. He always does this. You've seen this every darn week, man. This ain't new to you. You've seen this every week. You see him do this every week. It's like we waiting on him to put on his cape and do what he does. That's what he does every week. You guys should be accustomed to it by now.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
The first 3 quarters kind of struggled trying to get into the 8th.
Yeah, that's normal for us. That's normal.
Got 3 big sacks.
Yes, sir.
Late in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter. What was sort of the message to,
I wasn't a message during the darn game. It's you got to go out there and do your darn jobs. I mean, Coach Kelly he's calling a heck of a game. I'm listening. He's calling a heck of a game. We got guys that need to step up and handle their responsibilities. First of all, there's no way a team should drive 96 yards on us to tie the game. No way. There's no way.
Coach, on the bright side, Giovanni Antonio made some big catches.
Yep.
Late. What was that like for him out there?
It was awesome. It was awesome because he didn't have a great game last week, but I love his resilience and he bounced back. I believe in him 100%. I totally believe in him 100%, and I'm glad he got back in there and was able to do what he did because he's a grown man and he's a dog. He plays his butt off, never complains. Just a good kid, man. A really good kid. Was raised tremendously right.
Coach, you wanted to win the first and second quarter. You
Yeah.
didn't. You're obviously not happy about that.
Right.
What do you got to do as a staff to get that message? You told us, I'm sure you told them.
We got to do better. We got to put the kids in better situations. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Shoot, look at the darn stats. I mean, the targets. We got to do better. We got to do better all the way around. Offensive, defensively, special teams. We start out not kicking the darn ball to the end zone, a returnable ball. I don't know how everybody else kickers kick the ball out the end zone but ours.
Speaking of kickers, you and Mata shared a moment there after the game where you kind of looked like you maybe pushed him out on the field to get some more shine.
Yeah, I want him to do
What
his
kind
thing.
of moment was that for you?
Yeah, Mata is Mata. I mean, guys, you didn't believe in Mata. I believe in Mata. Why do you think I brought him here? Mata don't miss. You call the timeout and freeze him all you want. That don't mean nothing to Mata. Mata, that's who he is. And that's what he always says to me when I walk over to him and give him a hug. He said, I don't miss. And I love it. So I told him to do your thing. Do your thing. Get your shine on. It's your moment, baby. Live it. That's what I told him.
Coach Greg Moore, Arizona Republic.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you.
You as well.
You're generally so positive. It's kind of jarring for me to see you.
I have expectations, my brother. I'm sorry.
You're all right.
I really do. I have greater expectations. And we're better than this. We really are. We're better than this.
But how do you turn this back into a positive message? Because that seems to connect the larger theme. You've got something bigger. That this game is part of something.
Dick, we gotta meet my. I'm not changing, so you gotta meet my expectations, and that starts in practice. That starts in film study. That starts in preparation. That starts in coaching. That starts all the way down the board. Ain't just the kids. It's everybody. I have lofty expectations for this team, for this school, for this university. I really do, and we're going to get there.
Coach, on the one drive there, I think it was late in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, Shedeur on a scramble kind of lowered his shoulder and into one of the ASU defenders, and it looked like he yelled, at the sideline at you guys. What did that message send to the team as he was kind of showing off that?
I don't even know if it registered, because how you got a quarterback is not known for running, lowering his shoulder and runs over a guy. It should be 3 linemen there to help him up, shouldn't it? Didn't see that. That shit right there, that should make you want to say, oh my God, our quarterback ain't no joke. He's a dog. No, didn't see it.
Coach, you already mentioned the drive, obviously, where they tied it. You're not happy with that. But defensively, they shut them down before that. Were you pleased with the way the defense bounced back?
Yeah, defense played good ball into that last drive. So that last drive, it makes you forget everything wonderful that they did to give up a 96-yard drive.
On Tuesday when you addressed the team, I think you said, I'm taking it personally, these slow starts. I'm going to take control of this.
Right.
Did you think kind of heading in, maybe you corrected a few things?
Yes, I did.
Didn't go
Yes, I did. I thought I lit the fire up on every darn body that needed the fire to be lit. And obviously, it hadn't registered.
Coach, what have you seen from Anthony Hankerson in the last few weeks?
Hank is a dog, man. Hank is a great kid, runs the ball hard, keeps his shoulder down. I wish he could have came up with that catch at the end. We wouldn't be, maybe a different tone in his whole press conference. But Hank's been a dog, man. He's been a valuable asset to what we're trying to accomplish.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, despite the special teams struggles overall, I mean, Xavier Weaver had a 51-yard punt return. Can that be a spark for you guys on special teams wise, just getting a big play like that?
Definitely was. I mean, he's capable of that. But we got to get the right number of guys on the field to block for him. That's the stupid stuff that I'm sick of. So, we have the talent, man. We have some talented young men. We have some talented people inside this locker room. We just got to put it all together. And I'm sorry with my impatience. I don't have patience for too much in life. You can ask my kids.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you all. You all right, my brother?
Thanks, Coach.
Got you.
Thank you, Coach.
Hats off to our opposition today. They came back and played a heck of a game in the second quarter. They went on to get the victory. I'm truly upset. I'm truly disturbed. I'm going to try my best to stay composed and do the best of my ability to handle this press conference because you deserve my best, and I'm going to try my best to give it to you. Started out the game wonderfully, finally put it together in the first half like I desired, like we desired, like our players desired, and the fans. Wonderful first half, 29-0, I believe the score was there. Am I correct? And you surrender, I believe, 3 touchdowns unanswered, close to it, which I can't fathom right now. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And then the thing just kept going left. I mean, at halftime, I talked to him about, the old cliche, people say it's 0-0, but that's not true. It's not 0-0, it's 29-0. But I felt complacency going into the half because we stalled offensively. We gave up some yardage as well. And just in like how I felt going in at halftime, we come back out, and here comes the complacency. Here comes that team that I can't stand, that you can't stand, that you can't understand how in the world that happens to us. But it did, and didn't turn it back on, I think, until late in the fourth quarter when we were able to go down and get a score, and we go down, and then they tied up, and we got overtime, and you don't want to go in overtime because they have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. I was surprised that they kicked the field goal the first time. I thought they was just going to go for 2 and try the best to get it over with.
Was killing you guys, and Travis was on him quite a bit. What were you seeing in that matchup between Travis and?
Well, we didn't play well, not just Travis. I think it all started when we gave up on the 97-yard touchdown, which was flat out ridiculous. That's when it all started. That's when all the foolishness, all the complacency, all the mess started. I mean, how in the world we give up Jesus? Our secondary did not play the best game, especially at the cornerback position.
Coach, Matt Smith, 104 through the fan. It seemed like in the second half, maybe just some communication issues there with the coaching staff. Did you feel that?
In what regards?
Substitution errors.
Substitution on defense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There's so many different packages that you run and so many different personnel, but you got to understand we're basing our change of personnel on what they're changing. So that kind of happens when they having different personnel groups, and the referee is holding the game up, so we get a chance to substitute as well. What was happening is one guy was coming off the field appropriately, and he saw something, and he stopped. So that gives us 12 men on the field. It was things like that was transpiring, which we can't even wrap our head around it because we practice this stuff repeatedly.
Again, along the same line, some of the substitution things, the penalties. You've defended Coach Kelly at every turn.
Yeah.
This is one where now people are going to start pointing fingers, and you said,
Well, if you're going to point the fingers, point it at me, because if I'm allowing it, it should be on me, not him. Point it on me. We go over this stuff. And there are times where you know what group is in, you know what group you're on, but you have a lapse of understanding in those crucial moments. Right now, we're not built for the moment. We're not built for the moment. Some of our players aren't built for the moment where they have to make a play, or they have to keep contained, or they have to make a block, or they have to get another yard. We're not built for the moment right now.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette.
Yes, sir.
You guys had 17 penalties tonight. I mean, that was something that was a positive for you guys early in the season, was the lack of penalties. I
didn't know it was that many.
What has led to the amount of penalties you guys have been accumulating over the last couple weeks?
Not being smart, not being disciplined, not understanding the moment. That's what that is. Yeah, that's what that is.
Hi, Coach. Adam Lister, Tiger 24/7 Sports. We saw Trevor Woods play a little closer to the line of scrimmage at linebacker tonight.
Yeah.
Is that a matchup with Stanford, or do you like him in that role?
No, I love him in that role. I really do. We have some good safeties that that we have in Trevor is that kind of team guy that's going to do whatever he needs to do to help his team. And that's something that I'll do that. And I think he played well. I haven't watched the film yet, but thank God that he's willing to sacrifice what he's accustomed to doing to help us improve ourselves.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwannis, DMVR.
How
Just
you
curious
doing?
about Travis, just his conditioning. What you feel like that
His
was?
condition is great. It was just some plays he made, some plays he didn't. Just so happens the plays that he didn't make at the end are magnified. But the plays he made, it kept us in the game.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Nikki Edwards, Hughes Sports Report. I remember you said before that Shedeur puts on his cape and saves these games for
Right.
you. What kind of happened in overtime where maybe there was miscommunication on that play when it turned into an interception?
Yeah, first of all, you should have never thrown the ball. Should have never thrown the ball. I don't know if they played it on a replay to show what happened and with the receivers on that play. Did they show it? Yeah, what happened? 'Cause I want to see it because I know what happened. I want to see what they showed. Yeah, I think something else transpired on that play that shouldn't happen. So he shouldn't have never thrown the ball though. Just give us another down, let's kick field goal. Stay in it.
Hey, Coach.
Yes,
Tony
sir.
Casolo, Buffalo's Wire. Kickoffs have been an issue for your team this year. I think a handful of times you've kicked it out of bounds, especially I think it's twice after a personal foul penalty.
Yeah.
Can you say what the issue is or what the?
I don't think we had that
premise
problem
was there?
today. I mean, the kickoff that we did have that went out of bounds, it was going to be marked at the 20 regardless. So it was a moot point. Other than that, I think Jace did a good job on kickoffs today. We improved in that area today.
Hey, Coach. Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera.
Yes, sir.
When you had overtime against Colorado State, you took the ball first when the offense had a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Why the decision tonight to get the offense out there?
We have a really good quarterback, and I trust him. That's why. And we went right down and scored.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, you mentioned the complacency with this team. You guys now have 2 weeks before you play again.
Right.
Is this a good time for a bye week to try to fix some?
No, it's not a good time for a bye week. It's just, I mean, if you're having problems where you're injured and you have quite a few injuries, it's a good time for a bye week. But when you playing like you're playing, you don't want a bye week. You want to work it out. You want to make it happen. I wish we could play again next week. I really do.
We talked about the complacency of the defense. And
Complacency of everybody.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the offense a little bit. I mean, giving up that amount of points in the second half is obviously unacceptable,
Yes,
but
yes.
the offense obviously also has to contribute in some way.
Yeah, true.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, you're right. I don't need to talk about it. You said it.
Coach, just a personnel thing. Juwan Mitchell, I didn't see him out there at all.
Yeah.
Is he with this team still?
Yeah.
Is he injured?
Ask him what happened. Next guy.
Just simply put, I mean, how does this team go forward after a defeat
You
like
have
this?
no choice but to go forward. That's life. This ain't the only thing that's going on in life. I mean, all you guys are dealing with something. You still moving, you still progressing, you still going forward. We got to do the same darn thing. We didn't expect that. There's a lot of things that goes on in life that's unexpected, and this is one of them. We got to knuckle up and let's go. We can't sit down and have no pity party. Y'all don't feel bad for us. Some of y'all are ecstatic about what transpired today, and I know that. But that's cool. We're going to take this one on the chin because we deserve it. 29, I've never been in one of these types. I don't remember, from youth on, I don't remember being up 29-0 and losing a football game. I really don't. This is a little tough for me, and I'm trying my best, and I thank you all for your patience, and I thank you for your heart, because this is really tough for me. But you can see when I'm amping up and I kind of see this stuff coming, you can see why I go at it like I go at it, because I could feel my team. I could feel what's about to transpire, and here we go.
I mean, how important are the next maybe 24?
Every game is important.
The next 24 to 48 hours in terms of flushing this and moving past it.
Well, you got to they got to, what I just said in the locker room to the team is they got to make up in their mind, are they in love with this game or are they in like with it? Because when you love something, you give to it unconditionally. you give everything you got to it, but when you like it, that's just the button you push. And it lights up in a like. That's what they do on social media. So we got to figure out, do they love it or do they like it? And it's hard for me because I love this. I love it. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am truly 100% in love with this thing. And I just want people to match me. Just match my passion, match my heart, match my love, match my consistency, just match my mannerisms, just match every darn thing I give to this game. I love this. Sadly, I love it so much, but the game don't even occupy the ability to love you back. That's a strange love, isn't it?
Coach, you spoke, Patrick Dawson's Cubuff Sports. You spoke about struggles in the secondary. What are some things that you and the coaching staff are going to look at throughout the bye week?
Well, you can always look at personnel, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So it was hard to look at. Defensive backs either play to make a play or play to stop a play from being made. I like the guys who play to make a play. I really do. We got to get to that point. Thank you. God bless.
About UCLA Bruins, I adore their head coach tremendously. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. He's a great coach, and I'm glad we finally got our contest over so I could call him and get advice from time to time. We discussed that before the game and then after the game. He's one of the real ones. He's one of the good ones, and he knows what he's doing. So I could glean a lot from him. Today, we played our butts off. I feel like I'm proud of the kids. I really am proud of these young men. They hung in there as long as they could. Offensively, we got to improve. You see that. Quarterback is taking his beating. He got an injection at halftime. Probably shouldn't tell you that, but you know I'm 100. And just to block some of the pain, so I'm going to give him the next few days off so he could at least be mobile, because I know once that block is off, he's going to feel it tonight. We got to do a better job of protecting him, running the football. I know we had a couple linemen go down, but there's no excuses. Got to be next man up, so we got to have enough depth to be able to accomplish the goals that we set out to accomplish. Special teams, Marta was terrific. Marta was unbelievable. That is who he is, so that's a highlight of the special teams, and they covered tremendously well as well. Defensively, we fought our butts off. We made some key mistakes. Once Shiloh went out, he's one of the main communicators on the back end. That was a tremendous blow for us because he's one of the leaders on the backside of the defense, and he's the enforcer. He's the dog back there, and I don't complain about official calls, but because those guys have the toughest job in the country to me, because the game is going so fast, and they could call even though they have a opportunity for instant replay. But the catch on the sideline and the targeting for Shiloh, I'm still questioning those things. But if it is what it is, I think they had a tremendous bearing on the outcome of the game, because when you lose a safety of that caliber and then lose the quarterback of the defense, that's a tremendous blow. And that play on the sideline, I think that was a third down, would have been off the field as well. So we got to do a lot better, not only offensively, defensively, as well as coaching the game. And I'll take full responsibility for that. And I got to address those issues that we're having as well. Let's go.
Okay, first one, Brian. Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't just tonight. Oh, the offensive line was kind of up and down here. You have some new guys in there tonight. What's going on that you guys just haven't been able to figure that side, or that area of the ball on?
Depth. Not only depth, killer instinct, want, desire, will, athleticism. The hardest thing to acquire is linemen. So when people have a good one, you rarely see linemen jump and go to different schools. I think we have some guys that it's going to be good with a little seasoning, but overall we just don't have the fight or the passion to do what we want to do. Right? I'm a little biased because I'm his father, but I think we have the best quarterback in the country. I don't think any other quarterback could put up with or stand and deliver like ours do. week in and week out and taking the beating that he's taking. And we got to address that. We got to address that scheme-wise. We got to address that functionally with what we have on the line, and we just got to do a better job. I really do.
Coach, you mentioned the coaching aspect of it as well.
Yes, sir.
Specifically with the offensive line, I mean, what has to improve in that aspect besides from
the line? The line has to improve. It ain't no aspect. The line has to improve.
Coach, we've talked about run-pass balance a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was up until that last drive, you maybe 7 carries of running back through to like 34 passes.
Yeah.
How much is any of that is a struggle for you guys right now?
Well, it's a struggle to run the ball. It's a struggle to run the ball, and we got to figure that out, because now you're one-dimensional, and it's easy to stop a team when they're one-dimensional, and that's who we are at this point in time.
Could, to follow up on that, being able to commit to that, as you've talked about,
commit to what?
Running ball. Could that help?
I think we committed to it on first down, and we was 2nd and 15.
Right.
Those are the type of things you don't want to do and get behind the 8 ball. First downs are so vital. First downs are everything. I mean, first downs are, when we held them statistically on first downs, it was hard for them to move the ball as well. And when we're getting negative yards on first down, that's a tremendous loss. Because now you know you're going to throw the ball on second down, and they're calling your defenses pertaining to that loss.
I just asked that in terms of the big picture, trying to keep Shedeur upright, healthy, and the overall.
The big picture, you go get new linemen. That's the picture, and I'm going to paint it perfectly. Travis is Travis. I keep telling you that he's the one kid, not the one, it's multiple kids I don't concern myself about their play and their attitude. Travis is going to bounce back. Yeah, I know he's going to bounce back. You know, he was coming off of injury, and he was taking the offensive side of the ball a lot more serious than he was taking the defensive side of the ball when he first came back. And he just had to, reset, because he didn't go home on the break. He stayed, worked out, trained, and got his feet up under him and watched film intently and studied the little things. So he was prepared and ready today. I mean, he gave you a Travis Hunter performance.
Probably before
Ariel's up.
4 games left. How do you?
You got Ariel's up.
Regardless of whether or not you agree with the call or not, what did you say to Shiloh when you were walking off the field? When did both up?
That he got to keep it low. Just keep it low. If you keep it low, there's no question. I believe that he was not in fault, because he turned his shoulder all the way right. He always does. He knows how to hit. And I told him I'm proud of it. He was having a heck of a game. He was being dominant on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm just proud of him. I'm sorry this transpired, but I'm proud of his effort. And I don't ask my kids to be the best on the field. I ask them to give their best, and he gave us his best.
Coach, you talked about growing your talent and building this program. There's a lot of great talent in Los Angeles, a hotbed of talent.
There's a lot of hotbed of talent everywhere.
But how much are you paying attention to this area?
I pay attention to all areas. I pay attention to all kids. I don't just target one area, although I love Florida. Y'all know that. I'm from Florida, and I like Florida dogs, because that's where I come from. But it's hotbeds everywhere. But, I mean, you have a plethora of people, teams looking and seeking those kids as well. Everybody knows we ain't hard to find. Yes, sir. You're next.
Is the pain somewhere specific, or is it kind of all around?
I don't know. He's hurting. He's hurting everywhere. Trust me.
4 games left, trying to get bowl eligible. What's the message?
Say that again.
With 4 games left, trying to get bowl eligible, 2 more wins.
I don't give a damn about no bowl. We're trying to win, period. Like, we're not saying, oh, we got to go to bowl. We're trying to win. We're trying to win, period. And I think we proved that. First half, the second half, I know we came back and gave it up in explosions as soon as the second half commenced, but the young men played a heck of a game. They really did. They played the butts off. Like, a lot of the mistakes we made, we know we could do better than that. And they forced them, but we made tremendous mistakes defensively. I'm not going to talk about offense. We made tremendous mistakes defensively that enabled them to do what they did. But overall, I think there was an improvement. What were we penalties-wise? How many penalties? 7 for 60. Yeah, it's a tremendous improvement from last game. I mean, we harped on that all week long, so I think we made tremendous strides in that aspect.
Okay, 2 more. Go ahead.
Thank you. Real quickly, after I think it was Colorado State game, you said there were a lot of people, that were happy that this was happening. I think there's people that are happy that you're winning and you're succeeding.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Question, tactical question. When you folded within 13 at the end of the game, is there any reason why you didn't go for 2 to come within 11?
Well, you don't really go for 2 until you have to. So it wasn't.
My reasoning is a field goal, then a point. 2 points.
Yeah, once you get to that, when you get to that point, you do what you have to do. But until you get to that, you don't take those chances at all whatsoever.
Thank you, Coach Hammers.
Hey, Coach Ron.
Yes, sir.
You always talk about improving the program.
Yes, sir.
About the mistakes. And what are the differences when you versus coaching versus teaching these young men?
Well, we're always coaching and we're always teaching. I mean, that's what we do. And every game teaches a tremendous lesson. Every day of life teaches a tremendous lesson. So I think they're learning at a fast pace because unlike many other first-year coach-led teams, there's a tremendous expectation for us. And we would love to meet those expectations. I think we were close. I mean, we did some wonderful things. You could see what we have and what we're building, and you could see the need. So, just like recruits, you don't think they're watching TV and they see the needs that we have? It's very easy to understand this is what we need, and this is the type of quarterback that we have. So I'm happy with what I see for the future. I really am. I know we got our butts kicked, we lost today, but I'm happy with what I see in the future because you can see how close we are to being what we desire to be.
Thanks.
No, let me go. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Coach, you talked.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
My man, I love this guy. He does a heck of a job. No, I'm dead serious. You do a heck of a job every week, man. I'm proud of you.
This is the best.
Yeah.
Your offensive line, again, we talked about how poorly they played today in the offense in general. What can be done at this point of the season formation-wise? Playing with 6 linemen, 2 backs. Is there anything formationally you guys can add at this point of the season, or when it is?
We can all say what could have, should have, and would have been. We do. But there's a defense over there that's studying and preparing for us each week. And they have these type of weapons. You got to still understand we played against one of the best defenses in the Pac-12 and in the country today. And we came out and went right down the field, and we didn't get 6, we got 3, and we came back and got another 3. So we showed some things that we could do. The consistency that just isn't there at this point because of the lack of talent at certain positions. Yes, ma'am.
Can you just talk about just how well Shadir has been doing as a quarterback?
Well, I can't sit up here and elaborate on how well. Statistically, you can see how well he's doing. I don't know who else, that they have in these hires and how he's been balloting or running that takes the abuse that he takes and get back up. I don't know if any of these guys could stand and deliver every week like he does with the same stress that he delivers from. So I'm proud of it. Not just as a father, but as a coach, I'm proud of his strides and what he's doing and what he's seeing.
That's the biggest challenge.
For Travis? Probably the conditioning part, but Travis never tires. The conditioning part and the physicality of it.
When you look at a positive tonight, you guys have not been forcing turnovers the last 2 games. You cut more of them tonight. How big was that step for this defense to start doing some of those things?
Well, it's tremendous. You got to understand. Somebody said I'm not as critical as Coach Kelly because I hear the calls going in and I know what the guy's supposed to do. And I know when he makes a call, that guy's supposed to do that, and sometimes that does not happen. I'm tremendously ecstatic about what we accomplished in the turnover aspect of everything, but we still made little mistakes. We harped on first down and shot down. First down, they take a shot. We talked about that all week. We even showed them a consistency of plays that we've given up on first downs, explosion 20 yards or more. And it was a multitude of them that happened on first down. Then I'd be darned, we'd come out and first down, they take a shot and they hit it. After we've gone over that over and over and over and over. But we live and learn.
Good.
Coach, how does it feel that your team, set record numbers here at UCLA?
I want to set record numbers of winning. I do. I admire the fans, and they came out and did a wonderful job in packing the stadium and selling out. What is it, our 8th consecutive sellout?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ecstatic about that, but I would love to be on the winning end of those sellouts. I really, truly would. That would be phenomenal for me.
What was the message in halftime tonight? It seemed like you guys went in there.
It was rough. It was rough. I don't recall everything I said, but it was rough.
What was the theme overall?
Now. Yes, sir.
You were saying yesterday in some of the videos that you guys posted that how special it was to be at the Rose Bowl. I mean, whatever have just play here as a player, despite the loss. I mean, what did it mean to be able to be in this building tonight?
You gotta understand. I mean, to understand this is you always say the granddaddy of them all, and to see the iconic games that has been played here, and not to be able to play in it as in my whole entire career, but to come back and coach in it. And you got to think about, when we walk Coach Hart, Coach Mathis, and Mr. Calhoun, who runs our operations. We was just coaching youth football several years ago. And we in the darn Rose Bowl, and you want me to question how good my God is? Have you lost your mind? I'm serious, like 7 years ago. Coach Hart was running the defense, because Reg was running the defense. I was coaching the offense, because Calhoun was running the operations. Same thing we were doing with youth when we took 7 busloads of kids to the Hall of Fame. So we always take a picture in these type of stadiums, and we just think about, wow, like this is unbelievable.
Do you have to remind yourself to take in those moments?
Yeah, I do. I don't have to remind myself. It comes natural. It's a blessing. It truly is. So that's why it's hard to knock me off my horse, because I always think about the goodness of God and how good he's been. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
It's not often that a head coach will sit up here after a loss and volunteer to take more questions.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. My question, though, it seems like you found the balance so far this season, but can you provide some insight into how you walk that line between father and coach when you see Shiloh being ejected and taking those hits?
Well, it's easy to walk that line when I've always walked that line. And I said several weeks ago, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. I've been doing this, I've coached my kids their entire life. They only really know me as a coach. Shador has never had another football coach in his life. Shiloh did, because he went to the University of South Carolina. But I raised them and coached them their whole life, so it's easy for me to switch hats instantaneously, but to understand who they are as an athlete as well. And I don't baby them, I don't sugarcoat them, I tell them 100, and I treat them as such. Unless I'm hugging them or kissing them on the jaw, you would never know which one of these kids are my sons.
Coach, you've talked a lot about players that like the game versus players that love the game.
Yes, sir.
Talked about, gauging the locker room was level of belief.
Yes, sir.
How together would you say the team is right now?
We had our best week of practice, man. We had the best Friday workout we've ever had, and we came out ready and prepared. It was not because of a lack of preparation, of a lack of want and need. We just made some key mistakes, some key times, and we're 7 to 10 players away of really doing what we want to do in college football.
Anything else for Coach? We talked a little earlier this year about the offensive coordinator learning the quarterback.
Yeah.
How far along in the process do you think Sean Lewis and Shador are, and what have you thought about Sean's performance so far?
You can't put me on the spot like that. I think the coaches are doing a pretty good job. Thank you. That was a great try. Valued effort. You got to understand, I've sat in your seat for like 17, 18 years. So I got to know when it's coming.
Coach, did you Travis sit on offense today?
No, I mean, I do tell them who I want in the game and what I want now. And I don't discriminate for that. Last one.
Coach, did you anticipate maybe going through a tough time like you're going through right now?
I'm not going through a tough time. What makes you think I'm going to do? What about me look like it's a tough time? Don't sit up.
Well, I know you're used to winning.
Does it look like a tough time to y'all? No. I would love to win. I'm accustomed to winning, and we will win. We will win. And just put your seatbelt on and hold on. We will win. If you got to see what could possibly happen with the team that we have. I mean, shoot, we really only got our butts kicked once. and that was in Oregon. We got our butts kicked. It wasn't winning that. Anything, all the other games, you could see how we could have won those games. We could have done that. So that's called hope in our book, and I'm thankful and happy for that. I appreciate you all. God bless you. I want you to have a safe trip home wherever you're going, wherever you're headed, and let's wake up and smile tomorrow. A blessed one. Thank you. God bless. First, thankful for another tremendous opportunity to glorify the Lord. Came up short once again. This is hard. This is hard. The reason it's so hard is because you know you're capable of doing better, playing better, performing better, calling better games, coaching better on my behalf. And you are coming up short when you have enough to get the job done. And it's painful. It hurts myself, the team, all the coaches, the fans, some of you as well that actually care. They played a valiant game. I love their coach. I love what he stands for. I love what he's about. I love the way he's resurrected that entire program. But our kids fought hard. They really did. And I love the fact that they didn't have any quit in them. That they rallied at the end and gave a heck of an effort. We just wish that we could do that in the midst of the game, the first, second, third, and fourth quarter with consistency. And we haven't found that level of consistency as of yet. And that's what's truly disheartening. Right before the half, we wanted to get out of there because we know we're receiving the ball in the second half. So the plan was to either get a first down and try to go, or if we don't, if we're not successful on first down, okay, let's hit the clock. Let's hit the clock. We had a drop. I think we had maybe one or two drop passes on that series, which is very unfortunate. Then they get a tremendous return. They had 3 timeouts. We knew that going into it. They had a tremendous punt return, and they were able to punch it in, which is crazy. And that hurt tremendously. The score right before the half, because we know we were getting the ball in the second half. Had we not done that, the score is 7-3 at halftime. But unfortunately, that was the case. At the end of the game, we had 3 timeouts. I was instructing one of the officials that she's done a wonderful job, and I'm not blaming her that we want timeouts at the end of the various plays, but they've got a first down. So when I made eye contact and I saw that, it was like we didn't have timeouts. I'm like, and I just saw that. Like it confused me. Like we didn't have any timeouts left. I'm pretty sure it's on camera, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I think we would have saved like 30 or 40 seconds at that. Let's go.
Hi, Coach. Adam Munster, Tiger,
How you doing?
24/7 Sports. Doing okay. Have you sensed the same attention to detail from your team in recent weeks?
Yeah. I don't sense the same passion. I do sense the same attention to detail. The film time has gone up. Less mistakes, I think, penalty-wise. We had some penalties in some crazy situations, but we've condensed that over the last couple of weeks. We've been pretty good with that. It's just some little foolish darn penalties that we gathered today, but the passion of it, like the passion of that first game, the passion of those games, we're missing that. And that's still something we're trying to apprehend, and we're trying to locate it as well.
Ariel Arsuto, 9 News. How did you evaluate the offensive play calling today?
It has so much to do, and that's a great question, Ariel, but it's not just that. It's that and execution of the play that's called. It's that and timing of the play that's called. It's that and the thought process behind these things that's called. It's a lot goes behind that. You guys are just seeing what you see. You're missing a whole lot of intangibles that transpired for us to be in this situation right now.
Coach, what was Shedor's pain level today? It seemed like right away he's really struggled to move around.
I mean, shoot, he's been hurt. I think he went in to get an injection so he could finish. So it's extraordinary.
That was in the fourth quarter?
Yes, sir.
And then how about halftime?
The kid is tough. He's tough. He's fighting through it. And he don't make any excuses. He wasn't raised like that. We're not making any excuses. We don't do that.
Coach, a follow-up on Sean Keeler, the Denver Post, to follow up on Ariel's question a little bit. What did Pat Shurmur give you in your mind that you felt to make that switch that Sean Lewis couldn't and didn't?
We're not going to demean Sean Lewis, sir. We're not going to do that. We're not going to take that tone. Sean is a good man. I think he's a good play caller. We just needed change at the time. We just needed to try something else at the time, and that's what we did. And I don't look back on it. I don't second guess myself whatsoever, because it's more to it than what you may know. Okay, so let's just trust the process. Let's just trust the process. Sean is we're not going to demean any coach on his staff by any means. I don't get down like that. I don't move like that.
Hey, Coach, Brian Howard from the Bold
Yes, sir.
Camera. With that, noticed Tim Brewster didn't have a headset on tonight. Is he the coach that's now an analyst?
Well, yes. You got to understand now, you only get so many coaches in college football. So when you make a move like we made, that means someone has to, I don't call it demotion. I think move, everybody's making the same amount of money. So when you get demoted, that's a hit on your check. So it's a movement that we had to make. I think we use, how many tight ends in the games? So think about that. It's the proper move. You got to think about that.
And follow up with that tight end position. Notice Caleb Fourier has not been around the last couple of weeks. Is he still with this program?
My focus is winning these games, man. It's not who shows up to practice and who doesn't. I mean, let's talk to Brew about that. Okay.
I do have one question formationally about the tight ends. It seems like third down, there were a lot of times tonight where it was kind of you were losing the numbers game at the line of scrimmage. Is the lack of having that type of personnel in the building hurting you guys?
No, I mean, it's scheming. You give them a look and you see what they're in, then you call it based on what they're in at sometimes, or you just go with it. Sometimes we don't have that particular guy that I'm not going to say that. We have some players that are pretty good at what they do. That's just the preference of the OC of the call in the rhythm of the game at the time, whether we use the tight end to block, whether he use if we're going to throw the darn ball, I'd rather receiver be out there. That's my preference than a tight end. We got 4 or 5 pretty good guys that can really catch the ball. They can really run good routes. They can really get open. You saw that at the conclusion of the game.
Coach Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. You mentioned a couple of times there's been things behind the scenes maybe we haven't seen with the play call.
That's everybody. It's everybody's life. It's things in your life that I ain't seen. But you're a good guy, though, right?
You have to ask people around. When did you decide to maybe consider making the change? Was it after UCLA or was it even before that time you were looking into it?
I'm not going to disclose all my thoughts, man. I mean, my thoughts are my thoughts. I'm not going to disclose when I make a decision to do something. Just know that I made the decision and I don't stumble or stutter on it, and I'm not looking back. It is what it is, and that's what it's going to be. I make a decision to help this team win. You guys don't know all the intangibles in it. You just looking from the outside of the crib, looking in. I got tinted windows, and you can't even see in the house, but you're making conclusions on what I should and should not do.
Coach Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You mentioned the 2 touchdown drives you guys had at the end of the game. I know you haven't got a chance to watch the film yet, but what did you see that was different about for those 2 drives compared to the first handful or so that you guys struggled?
That could be what they presented to us defensively, as well as making up our mind that we want it. We got to make up our mind. We saw a wonderful story today about the last week. I think I showed them a couple of days ago about the cows and the buffaloes. When the storm comes, the cows run from the storms. Buffaloes run to it. And I wanted them to make a decision which one they wanted to be. So they chose to run towards the storm. And they did a wonderful job, and they finished strong, and I was proud of it.
Shedeur throw the ball deep a little bit more maybe than usual today. Is he just trying to take more chances down the field? Obviously, we saw Travis make that play late in the game.
It's not about taking chances. It's about taking what they give you. Like if they give us a one-on-one situation, we're going to bet on our receivers. That we have pretty good receivers. Either they're going to come up with the catch or we're going to get a pass interference, and that's something that we did today. when they give us the looks, we're going to try our best to take advantage of what's out there.
Jimmy Favs, 24/7 Sports. Pretty big recruiting weekend. Did you get a chance to interact with some of them?
Yeah, I think I met with every recruit that came on official. Yeah, I met them earlier today.
Coach, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. The other day, you said after meeting with the O-line, you thought you would get a better effort out of them tonight. Might be hard to judge without watching the film.
Right.
Did you feel like you got that?
Well, I know we got it in the end. I know we started off, a little lackadaisical, but I think we got it in the end. I always look at the statistics. I think we surrendered 4 sacks. I think that's better than last week, right? So you got to measure it by that. Our quarterback's still hurting a little bit, but he was hurting coming in the game. We can't put all of that on the line. But those guys, just looking them in the eyes, and they gave a better effort, a tremendously better effort, and I'm proud of them.
Coach, Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. It's felt like the defense has been coming along the last couple of weeks, and they kind of kept you in the game for a while. What was your assessment of their performance overall tonight?
The thing about defense that's different from offense, when you're listening to the calls, you know what's supposed to happen. You know who's supposed to be where, who's supposed to do this, who's supposed to do that. And Coach Kelly's done a tremendous job. I mean, he really has, because I know he makes a certain call, but if a certain guy don't do what he is asking him to do, that's very problematic, and we surrender points. He called a good game tonight. We had some situations that we didn't do what was expected, but the guys rallied back, and we still was able to provoke, I think, 3 or 4 turnovers. I didn't see that statistic, but those guys are coming along well, and I'm proud. I'm truly proud of them. But it's always one play here and there that causes you to sit in this seat and have this mood that I have right now. Oh, I'd like to thank the Lord for allowing us to go out there and play the best of our ability. Fought hard, played tough. Just had a wonderful conversation with the team, as well as the seniors who will never get to play here again. I apologize on behalf of just myself, staff, or the support staff, that we didn't send them out right, in which we wanted to, because they deserve it. Apologizing to the fan base. They've been supporting the heck out of us, and they've been showing up and showing out. Another sellout crowd that ended in disappointment. We're so close, is what I told the team, but yet so far. We just simply truly don't know how to win yet. And it's not for lack of effort, not for lack of coaching with the staff or the support staff, the trainers and strength and conditioning and everybody around. They're doing a phenomenal job. We just can't get over that hump. Another game right there. And I don't know from your advantage point, your viewpoint, but it seemed like we were the better team, and we just couldn't get it done. And the best thing about it is that in our first year, we haven't even been here a year, but we're right there. I mean, we're right there in all these darn games, except for one when we got our butts slaughtered in Oregon, that we've had an opportunity to win. Defensively, we surrendered a lot of yards rushing in 207. Thank God I think we ran for 77 yards. I don't think we eclipsed that in a minute. Shador was efficient and effective. Receivers did some pretty good things. We had a couple drops out there. But the defense, we weren't consistent as we've been the last 2 games. Our punter was phenomenal. Marcus is unbelievable. He's a pro. And the Amada finally missed. I love him, though. I love him to life. And he's been knocking it down for us all year. So he is certainly not to blame, because he's one of the reasons we're in the game consistently every week. But I really hate it for our fan base, because they deserve so much better. And we're going to give them better. We're going to give them better. But we're close. We're really close. And I hope they could see it. I hope you could see it. I hope the country could see that we have no quit in us. Our guys came ready to play. They really did. We came up short. Let's go.
Hey, Coach, Brian Howard from Boulder Daily Camera. That last sequence there, you guys called a timeout before they had the pass play to Montana Lamonius Craig. They got to the one. Did you guys talk about maybe letting them score so you guys could have time?
Yeah, they're not stupid enough to do that. They downed the ball. The quarterback ran up the middle and took a knee.
How did you play before that? The pass play to the one?
We're still fighting. Yeah, we're still fighting at that point. Yeah. At that point, we're still fighting. We're not thinking about letting them score a touchdown at that point, because now you're thinking hold them to a field goal because you go down there and get a field goal and you're back in the game. You're tied the game, so you're not thinking that at that point.
And I just want to ask you about there was a 3rd and 1 play earlier in the quarter where you guys threw it instead of running it. What was the decision there to not just run it and try to get that first down on the ground?
You've been watching us all season, right? Thank you. Next question.
Coach, when you talk about being close, and today it felt like it was those little things, some costly penalties.
Yeah.
What goes into teaching the guys to eliminate those little mistakes in big moments?
That's discipline. That's discipline on the field, discipline off the field. If you're undisciplined off the field, you're going to be undisciplined on the field. Those little moments and those little penalties are costly because at the end of the day, they add up. I mean, they had more yards and penalties than we did, but we had 11 penalties. They had 8 for 87 yards. We had 11 for 83 yards. We won the time of possession by 7 minutes, and so we control the clock, we control the ball. We just came up short. But those costly little penalties, those little knucklehead plays, gonna cost you every time.
Hi, Coach Adam Tiger,
How you
24/7
doing?
Sports. Doing okay. Obviously, it was far from perfect. Did you
Yes,
feel
sir.
like the pass protection issues were maybe a little bit better today? Than they
I think he was only sacked 3 times. I think 3 times last week. Just do the math. I feel like it's improvement. So I praised the line all game long. I was challenging them to go to another level during the game, but I praised them all game long out there on the field for the protection. They gave us a clean pocket at times. At times he had to scramble. You're going to do that because the opposing team is going to blitz sometimes. But overall, I really think they've improved tremendously.
Coach, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. Going back to that 3rd and 1 that Brian asked about, were you guys a little bit out of sync out on that play? The play call aside, it seemed like you broke the huddle late and then were sped up trying to get the ball off. What was
No, not really. I didn't see it that way. I mean, I'm in the headset and I see what they're calling. I know what they want to do. I didn't see it that way at all, whatsoever.
Coach Jimmy Searfoss, 24/7 Sports.
Mm-hmm.
There were some off-the-field antics going into this week on social media and things like that. Is that something y'all paid attention to?
What was it? I didn't get it. What was it?
Tyler Upshaw was making.
Oh,
comments.
that's a young man taking advantage of his moment. It is what it is.
Clint Yates, ESPN. Coach, you talked about the support you've gotten from this team, from the city over the course of the season. When this season first started, how did you define success, and do you think you've reached it so far?
In many aspects, certainly. Trying to watch my words. Certainly. I feel as though every time these fans come in this stadium, there's an expectation of us to win. I think that's progress. I wasn't here last year, but I'm pretty sure I've talked to some people that I know pretty well. I think there's tremendous progress. We have consistency in several positions that are phenomenal, and I truly feel that there's progress. We have inconsistency in some positions that we can fix. We know the problem, we identified it, and we're going to fix it. That's progress because we know what the problem is, and we have the aptitude to fix it. So I really feel like we're underachieving for my standards, but when you really look at it, I'm pretty sure you see a better football team on the field each and every Saturday. Just ask some fans. You been here for a while? What you think?
I think it's an interesting question as to what success means for this program.
Yeah. Is the team better?
The team's definitely better.
Good. Just rest it right there with an exclamation mark.
Coach Prime, Alex Ramirez, Mile High Sports Radio, the final word.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the 12th man. As you mentioned,
Yeah.
everybody expects to come into the stadium to win.
Yeah.
That's what we expect all the time. And that's a different feeling. It
But
feels
I like
great,
that.
man.
I like that. They should. And I feel like one thing about it, we're gonna give you a good game. we're going to stretch your OC, your DC, your special teams coordinator. We're going to stretch them out and stress them out, trying to stop what we're capable of doing. You could see what we need. It's easy for you to look out there and watch us on television and say, okay, I see what they need. They could go get that. That's why I'm excited about tomorrow, but I got to take care of today.
Coach Sean Keeler of the Denver Post, you mentioned how painful being right there is, and you
Yes.
said everybody can see it.
Yes, sir.
What factor do you think game management plays in that, and what do you say to people who say, maybe that needs tightening or that needs this?
Everything needs tightening. I mean, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect by any means. You can always second guess everything, but if you're on a headset and you're hearing things and you're seeing what's happening and you know your shortcomings and you know the positive that you have, you may have a whole different perspective if you can hear and see what's transpiring. 11 penalties played a tremendous role, and they're not coached to do that. So please take that in consideration. They're not coached to hit a quarterback late. They're not coached to jump offside. They're not coached to hold. Nobody does that. That just happens. That's a part of the game. We just got to be a little more disciplined in those moments.
Hey, Coach, Jack Carlo with
How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Cormani McLean got the start opposite Travis Hunter at cornerback. What's he done the past couple of weeks during that?
He's been a lot more focused, a lot more understanding of the expectation and what we want from him. That we've challenged him tremendously all year long, and he stood up to the task over the last probably week and a half. I'm really, really proud of Cormani. I really am. He's come a long way just to get on the field and stay on the field consistently. And I hadn't watched the film as of yet, but what I saw with the naked eye, he played a viable game. With his play, we could have won.
Couple more. Go ahead, Ariel.
Ariel Studio 9 News. I know that it's one game at a time, but now you're down to 2 games left in order to get that 6-game threshold for a bowl. What message do you really have for the team to just try to get these next 2 games and to leave there with the 6 wins?
It's not about in the next 2 games. It's about one game at a time. It's about doing the little things to win one game at a time. It's about winning the personal battles one play at a time. It's about dominating the guy in front of you and whooping the guy in front of you and being successful versus the guy in front of you. Now, when you get 11 persons on the same page to do that, then that play is successful. So we got to win the down. We got to win the series. We got to win the quarter. We got to win the half. Then we win the game. After we win the game, we do it all over again. So we're not thinking about bowls or we think about just doing what we need to do to improve. And each week I see improvement in certain areas, and each week I see that we got to improve in certain areas. But we sit up here week in and week out, and it's a situation where we could have won. We could have won the darn game. And I like that. We should have won. I'm tired of we could have won. I'm tired of that part. But we should have won.
Is that frustrating?
Very. It ain't no lose in me. It don't sit well with me. It don't rock well with me. It don't lay down with me. I have no lose in me. And we have some phenomenal men in that locker room that feel the same way. We just got to be a lot more disciplined and understand what's at hand and stand up to the task on every darn play. And we're going to get there. I promise you we're going to get there. I don't know when we're going to get there, but baby, we're going to get there.
Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. There
How
are
you
a
doing,
pair
sir?
of 4th and 1s in the second half, one in the third quarter and one after the third one that Brian asked about. You opted to punt on both of those. From your perspective, with the way the game was going, what was the rationale behind playing it safe there?
What if you don't get those? What happens? The other team gets momentum. They go down to score. Now you saying, "Oh my God, he should have." You guys, you gonna second guess every darn thing. I got it. I'm at practice every day. I know these young men. I'm on the headsets. I hear the calls. I know what's transpiring right there. I know the feeling and the mood of the team. Just so happens, I think we punted the ball to the 2, and then we held them, and they had to punt. What happened after that? We scored.
Why you say nothing about that? I think that was a pretty good decision, wasn't it? In my favor, right? Can we start off with that, about that great decision you made, Coach? I don't need you to slap me on my back because I'm good because my arms can reach back there. But I really just want you to understand these decisions are based on knowledge. We're not guessing. They're based on what we do in practice and the situations we have in practice. I have situations in practice that I will say 4th and 1 on this yard line. Now, if we don't get it consecutively, what do you think I'm going to do in the game? That's what I did.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You guys had 24 points and 250 yards in the first half on offense. I know you say it's been a collaborative effort all season for the offensive coaching staff, but an extra week for Coach Shermer in this new role, did that help at all?
Yeah, tremendously. I think you saw it. I mean, we're not doing the, tempo. We're not as tempo as we once were because instead of going fast, I want them to get it right. And they did a phenomenal job. They did a good enough job for us to win. We just got to support them defensively. That's it. I think he called a phenomenal game. He really did. Now, they called a phenomenal game because it's a collaborative effort when you hear it on the set. They're really working together as one and they're unified. So it was a great effort. We're not at, rather, if you know it or not, we're not at odds around here. I don't play that. I got to do what's best for this fan base, for this school, for our AD, for our team. The decisions I make, I feel like it's best for us going forward, and that's why I make them. It's okay for you to second guess. I don't mind that at all because I've been second guessed my whole life. I don't give a darn, really. I'm not going to lose a wink of sleep because you second guessing what I did and what I do. But I make decisions not based off emotions. I make decisions based off facts and based off feelings and based off knowledge and understanding and tremendous wisdom. That's why I make decisions. Thank you, my man.
Coach, I did want to ask about those 3 times that Vassett pins them inside the 10. Each time the defense gets to stop, and then 2 touchdowns, and then Mata misses the field goal in scoring range. We've been waiting all season to see complimentary football. So how pleased are you when you talk about the progress?
Yeah.
How pleased to see that finally come about? And
Yeah. I mean, we still hadn't shown up together in one game yet. What I mean by that is the offense play their butts off, the defense play their butts off, and special teams play their butts off. We still hadn't done that as of yet, but it was close. Special teams did its part, and we scored 31 points. That should be enough to win the football game. That was the challenge that I gave them at the beginning of the week. I said, guys, we need to score at least 31 points because based on what they surrender and what they score on the road, you come up with all these calculations and you kind of narrow it down and you say, okay, this is what they normally do. And they've been a consistent team. So that was the number, 31. And I feel like we would win if we scored 31 points, and we came up short. Thank you. God bless you all. Have a wonderful evening.
You want to wait a little longer? Okay. Thank you, guys. I'm under the weather, so this is going to be a little foggy for me. Great win by our opponents. Played a heck of a game. Coached a heck of a game. They came to play candidly from the start to the finish. Obviously, it don't look like we did. You give up 2 fumble returns for touchdowns and a kickoff return for a touchdown. That's not the recipe for a win. They executed early. They executed often, and when they got Shador out of the game, it was tough. It was tough slating from then on. And he sustained had numbness in his hand. He got hit in the forearm, and he couldn't really grip the ball. He couldn't really feel the ball. Then the second time he got injured was, I think, when we had an errant snap, and I think they rolled up his ankle, and that was it. Couldn't grip the ball and his ankle, so that took him out of the game. And the rest is history. Great job by our opponents once again. Very saddened of how we played. We practiced hard this past week. We prepared like no other. And to go display a performance like that, it's not indicative of who we are, what we are, how we are. And I've been boasting since the beginning of the season. I have not seen us quit. Have not seen us quit. Have not seen us turn it down, or not want to play, or not want to execute. There was some plays in the first half that I didn't see the passion that I wanted to see, but we came and got on them a little bit at halftime, and they went back out there and they fought. So I do applaud them for fighting in the second half and not giving up. These stats are, shoot, when you look at them, it's unbelievable. 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 We were 4 for 16 on third downs. That's not a statistic deserving of a win. Time of possessions, they won by about a minute pretty much, which is pretty darn good. We ran the ball a little better today than we've had in the past. But once again, once Shedeur was down, it was tough slate. Let's go.
Adam, you want the first?
Sure. How surprising is this performance out of your team?
Very, very. Because it's not who we are. And I'm still trying to figure out our identity, trying to figure out who we are in turbulent times. And I still don't know. After all these weeks, I still don't know.
What was the message in the locker room? It feels like there's been a couple times this year where you've had to go to, who's going to show me pride in the second half.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot similar to who's going to show up, hold each other accountable, make sure your teammate goes out there and give everything. I'm sorry, my head is throbbing right now. Make sure your teammate go out there and give everything that they have. So it was a sound message, and they responded.
Coach, you guys obviously today, fall short of a bowl game appearance, but this program sights set, so much higher. How do you still learn from a season like this where you guys still had a lot more production than?
Yeah. I mean, if you compare it to last year, we try to compare it to what we're capable of, and we were falling short of what we're capable of, and that's the tough thing. That's the thing that's tremendously tough to digest week in and week out.
How's Travis doing? It seemed like he got banged up there at the end of the game.
Travis is good.
Is there any thought to maybe shutting Shedeur down the rest of the way?
Shedeur is not that kind of player that he wants to shut down. He wants to finish with his teammates. I'm pretty sure. I haven't talked to him about it, but I'm pretty sure he wants to finish.
As you review the second half of this tape and go into next week against Utah, how much are guys kind of auditioning for where they stand going into the season?
I don't know about audition, man. We're trying to win. We're trying to win. We're just trying to win a football game. I don't know about the auditions. We're trying to win.
Is this the toughest stretch of your coaching career this far?
Oh, this is the toughest stretch of probably my life. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. My head is throbbing.
The bug you're dealing with, has that been going through the locker room?
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with what transpired. They kicked our butts without that. That had nothing to do with what transpired today.
What makes their offense so hard to deal with, especially the quarterback being able to throw and run and all the things he can do?
I don't think they had staggering numbers. They did their jobs pretty well today. I mean, they threw for 288 yards. We got 3 sacks, a couple touchdowns, 18 for 30. I'll take that. I mean, I'll take that from the defense. But we gotta stop the run. We gotta stop the big plays. We gotta stop the third down plays. They were 6 for 11 on third downs as well. But those guys can play the game, and they're well coached. And they came out and executed. They kicked their butts. I would have never fathomed that this would have been the conclusion of the score if you'd asked me a week or 2 weeks ago. There's no way.
Anything else for Coach?
Coach, what do you think the difference was, at the beginning of the season when you guys were winning to kind of now? What do you think the difference in
attitude, and desire. Just attitude and desire.
Yeah, after the game, what did you tell your team?
I came right here.
Okay.
I came right.
What
I
do
came.
you tell me about this game?
What are you gonna say? What do you say? What do you say? I said what I said at halftime, and I challenged them to go out there and stand up for themselves, for their family, for the name on the front and the name on the back. And I challenged them to stand up for that, and they responded. They didn't lay down. They went out there and fought. So I'm proud of them. I really am.
Brian, go ahead.
Coach, I'm sorry, I missed the first one.
No, you good. You good.
You've talked about this team. The one thing they don't do is quit.
Right.
Did you see any of that in them tonight?
I didn't see quit. I didn't see that. Maybe not passion in the first half. Maybe not the purpose. Maybe not the mental, the physicality that I would want to see as a coach. Maybe not that in the first half, but in the second half, after we challenged them to do so, they responded. They didn't give up. I promise you, they didn't give up.
Good, man. Sorry, one last thing.
You good.
Cormani, big week for him. You talked about how proud of him you are. It looked like they were targeting him and going after him. Is that kind of part of the learning process?
It's not only the part of the learning process. Sometimes the young kids don't understand what you put on film is indicative to what a coach is going to attack the following week. So they've probably seen some insufficiencies on film, and they went at it. But he has to be ready to stand up. He didn't give up. He fought to the end, and I'm proud of him. He's certainly growing. There's something wrong with a plant that don't grow, and that kid is certainly growing, and I'm happy that he's growing. He's not giving up. He's lining back up there, bumping and running, and he's fighting his butt off. He just needs time. He just needs time and repetitions.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
It's good. Thank you, guys.
I thought it was a pretty darn good game. Considering I think both starting quarterbacks were certainly out. We showed up and we played well. Stop did a great job, I feel like, at getting the ball to where it needed to go and get it out of his hands. And I think we were only sacked a couple times, which is a blessing for us, you gotta understand. Unfortunately, we didn't get the catch from Travis. I thought that was good, as well as a punt return back from Dylan. Two huge plays. You can't win games and be inconsistent in those areas. Couple big penalties. I know we got a third down, I believe, penalty, roughing the passer. I forget what down it was. Maybe that early on. Got an offsides as well on another down. Got the long one called back that Jimmy caught on the sideline as well. Leave him, I think, man, downfield. Where were we penalized? Penalty 7:59, which is not good. They ate up the clock. It was our thought process that we can control the clock and keep them off the field. They kept the ball for almost 40 minutes, which is astounding. Well coached, executed well. They ran the ball down our throats. They won. They did a great job. On to the next. Thank God we got out of there. Maybe one injury, I believe, from our center. Other than that, I think we got out of there pretty uninjured. But it's time to start projecting and start thinking about tomorrow already. Let's go.
With that being in mind, rather, what is Shador's injury? Will he have to have a procedure?
Shador's hurt.
Will he have to have a procedure of any kind?
I don't know about a procedure. Shador's been hurting for a while, and just prolonging that. I think you guys you understand what time it is, and ironically, that was my first time playing without my son. Shador. Played with that shallow a few times because he went on to South Carolina, but that was my first time that I was available and he wasn't. He played when I was in the hospital for, I think, a month in Jackson, but that was my first time playing without him, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Not picturing him and understanding him after we take our walk and now it's time to get down. That wasn't easy at all. Stubb did a wonderful job.
As you look ahead to that line stop, does the way he played today give you confidence that he can be a number 2 quarterback next year?
I don't think it's Stubb's dream to be a number 2 quarterback.
Right.
I don't think it's a man's dream to be number 2 at nothing. unless that's the jersey number. So I'm not going to forecast that on Mr. Starr. I think after his performance today, he wants to play somewhere, whether it's here or somewhere else. He wants to play. He proved that he could play. I'm proud of him. I'm really proud of him.
Defensively, it's hard to prepare for a fifth-string quarterback. How much do you know?
You don't prepare for the string of the quarterback. You prepare for the team.
How much do you think your coaching staff knew about what Utah was going to do before this game?
Anybody with a darn football mind know they're going to try to run the darn ball. What else are they going to try to do? What else are they going to try to do? Just throw it around 40 times? That's not who they are. They're a physical, tough, hard-nosed team that runs right at you, and that's what they did. That's why I adore the darn coach. It ain't hard to figure him out. You know he's coming right at you.
Coach, many times after these tough losses this season, you've talked about how you haven't seen quit in your team.
Yeah.
As you go into the offseason, is that one of the key positives that you kind of take from this season?
Yeah, you try to grasp onto anything positive that you can. And the way they fought, and you look at certain positions, you go segment by segment and see what you have in the kennel. And trust me, we're in the process of, this is Coach Ray, this is his time, this is his moment, this is where he excels. This is where the scout department, Corey, this is where they start doing their thing. We already know what's gonna come probably in the next few days to a week and a half. We already know what's gonna transpire. You guys you're gonna be pleased with what's coming. I promise you that. But everything you see that we have a lack thereof, a deficit, we're gonna feel that need.
What percentage of those additions this offseason do you expect to come from the transfer portal?
A plethora. We want to win now, right? Yeah. I don't mind putting the high school kids in the microwave and letting them warm up a little bit. I don't mind that. But you got to understand what you really get out of that. Like how many, I think Dylan, 14, I'm sorry, I call numbers all the time, y'all know that.
Jaden. Kumani.
Just trying to help. Long year.
Yeah. But you're looking to do some things right now, like what we need for Shador is we know where to find it. It ain't hard to find. Yeah.
We spoke to Ryan and Shane Cooks previously, and they praised that you laid a great foundation for SU football. When you look back on this season,
Thank you.
what does this foundation look like to you and the path towards the future?
Well, it's a little shaky in certain areas, but we're certainly headed in the right direction. We're certainly trending forward. We got our butts kicked twice this year out of 12 games. I mean, kicked twice. That it was no win in those 2 games. Every other game, other than that, we had a shot. And I think that's progress. You was in last year, right? That's progress, right?
Yeah.
Two-part question. You made a big change at offensive
My
staff.
man, I'm sorry. My man, what's up, boss?
You.
How you doing, sir? I'm sorry, it's royalty in the house, man.
Doing well.
You doing okay?
Yeah. Thank you, by the way. It's been a great season.
Hey, man, thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for what you contributed and what you displayed and the truth that you told and the fabrication that some of you told as well. I appreciate some. Appreciate it all.
You mentioned next.
Yes, sir.
I know there are a lot of next, but what's your next? Your next? What's your priority?
Make sure my sons are good. I know Shiloh's banged up, Shador's banged up as well. Even the cameraman, Bucky's banged up right now. My daughter's banged up. She's coming off an injury. Did we win or we lost today? We lost. It's okay. We still got the best darn basketball coach in the game, women's basketball, men's as well. But she enjoyed herself. She was calling me every morning at like 5 a.m. I said, "Oh, you know your dad is up. That's a blessing, and you know your father's up." But it's focus on my kids a little bit. I think they want to go on vacation, so I gotta oblige them a little bit. But we're getting ready to start cooking. We're getting ready to start to go pick up that grocery and make sure we do it right. You know what we need. Everybody know what we need. And you know darn well what we need. So we're gonna get it.
Two-part question.
Yes, sir.
How do you
You know I'm old now. You know that.
That's why I'll start with one. The first part, how do you think Pat Shurmur did in the elevation the back half of the year?
First of all, it wasn't easy because of the protections and all that stuff. Pat and I communicate really well. Pat and Sean communicated really well. Pat and Shador communicates really well. So I think he did a great job. I really did. I mean, we don't want to give them like their students A, B's, or C's, or whatever. And you know what we got to do to get better. So you don't want to start grading your coaches. You know what time it is. Well, I don't think we're the only team in the country who made a change, who changed some things around when they felt like they needed to. And we did as such. So it is what it is.
The second part would be, how many changes do you expect to the staff in general this summer?
A few.
Including offensive coordinator?
Excuse me?
Including OC?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. Yeah.
Coach,
how you gonna ask me? How did Pat do? Then you want to shoot him? He's your own kind of ball trying to say. Pat, know you asking those? Yeah, make sure Pat knows he asking those kind of questions. No, I'm joking. Great question. Great question.
Coach, in regard to this game, as far as running the ball, Deion had a really good first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Then he didn't touch the ball after that. Why'd you just go away from running the ball with him?
I don't know if you're going away from just running the ball with him. I think you run the ball, period. I think every one of our backs are capable. I don't know if we just said, okay, you're out of the game, Xavier, you're not going to touch it anymore. We don't make those type of decisions. We make decisions based on momentum and based on what we're capable of doing.
Coach, you mentioned East of most games, you said right there.
Yeah.
Game operation stuff gets magnified.
Yes, sir.
Those 2 timeouts early in the third, was that a miscommunication? Was that, you probably could have used that before.
You're huddling, okay? And at times I was like, guys, come on. Let's make a projection. Let's get out of the huddle in 20 seconds. So when you're doing it on emotions and all that, then you got time to do what you got to do. And it was a substitution kind of situation that went on then, and I got to protect us. We can't lose 5 yards. So we're going to have to take a timeout right there. I understand what you're saying, but at the prominent time, we got to do what we got to do at that time.
Coach Ryan stopped at the fumble on the first possession and then kind of obviously bounced back after.
Right.
What does it say about the young quarterback that after a turnover is able to kind of find himself again?
Well, he refocused and he recalibrated himself. I'm proud of him. I really am proud of this young man. You have no idea the leaps and bounds that he's made because I've been there every day at practice. So it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Proud of him.
Coach, what did you see from Shador this week in helping get Ryan up to speed for this game?
I think Shador is trying to help himself get out of bed this week. I don't know how much he contributed to helping Ryan. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he was just trying to take care of his body and get himself together. And we had a bug going around the whole team, including coaches, that I called Weaver before the game and I told him, I can't believe you're not here. What is wrong with you? But he's a pro, man. And I really wanted him to end right. And, I wanted Shador. I think he had a couple records he could have eclipsed. But Weaver, could have got his 1,000 for certain. So, but he's a heck of a young man. And I can't wait to see his next journey.
Shane Cook said several times about the foundation that he feels like has been built. Can you describe in your mind what foundation has been built this season?
Understanding what we're capable of and what it takes to get to that level of consistency, of practice habits, of study habits, of holding one another accountable, me not having to do all the yelling, the coaches taking a part in that as well. We established some things that are foundational that when these new young men come in here, they're established, it's in stone, and they just got to proceed with caution, so to speak. Because the guys that are here, they understand this is how it is, this is how it's going to be, and we're going to make sure the standard is the standard.
Yeah. Coach, you said during the week that your staff hadn't started conversations with players that have the option to come back or not. The option to come back or not.
Or if they're just where they stand.
Are you putting words in my mouth? Did I say that? Did I say kids have the option to come back? I don't think
exhausted eligibility or not.
Oh.
Yeah, if they want to use their eligibility.
Oh, say that. Say that. That's much more clear.
Sorry.
Because when you say it like that, it comes out different nationally, right?
Sorry.
There you go.
But how quickly will those conversations start with players? Is that something you guys want to do as coach staff?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's something that some of the players already started. Some of them, I met with a few players this past week that that you heard murmurings in. Did I say that right? That's still right. Coming out of my mouth. Bickerings or whatever. We hope that they plan on staying, and some guys that they want to go. God bless them. We want the best for them. We want the best for all these young men.
Coach, over the next few weeks, it's obviously huge before signing day and all that. Will you personally be doing in-home visits with recruits?
I don't know. If it's beneficial, I may. If it's not, I won't.
Coach,
What you think? You think it's beneficial?
Coach, this is your first season at the FBS level. What are some things that you feel you've learned about yourself personally?
Well, FBS and FCS, levels are levels, man. I think everybody that we brought from FCS done a pretty darn good job in FBS, right? So I don't think it's a different level of players that we brought in. What I learned for myself is forget the levels. I mean, you could do that in youth football. I learned a tremendous amount of patience. I mean, it would seem as though I'm impatient with some of the things that we did, but I learned a tremendous amount of patience, and I learned really what we need in the character of the young men that we need. I learned so many things about what we need and do not deviate from that. And we're going to stick to that.
One more, go ahead, Bill.
I'm good. I ain't got nowhere to go. That's my man.
Yeah, so it's really been a really long season.
It seems as though.
But could you contrast how you felt at the first part of the season, how you're feeling now?
Well, I could see, I could see around the corner tremendously. I don't just see what's right ahead. So at the beginning of the season, I kind of saw around the corner. I think I kind of forewarned you guys at the Oregon game. So you better get us now, because I know what we have in house. I know what we don't have. I know what we're lacking tremendously, and that was a prelude to some things that kind of fell apart as well. That they really dominated our weaknesses. But I love everything that transpired. I could not grow if I didn't go through what we've gone through. I could not prosper if I didn't glean from what transpired this season. I could not be who I am if I didn't have these tasks at hand. I'm truly thankful. This is not the first challenge I've had in my life, but I know how I finish. I know how this is going to end. I promise you, I know how this is going to end.
Any other questions?
Coach, you mentioned Coach Mo and how important the next couple months are going to be for him and the strength staff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what during his time here have you seen that gives you so much confidence in his abilities to get?
I'm not going to just single out one coach. We're not going to do that.
No, just the strength coach in general, the strength coaching staff in general. What gives you so much confidence that they can do what you need them to do over the offseason?
Well, everybody's going to be evaluated. How about that? Every coach is going to be evaluated. Not just let's slow down a little bit and let's get evaluations for not just players, not coaches as well.
Do you feel like you have the resources at Colorado to succeed at the level you expect to?
We're getting there. We definitely need giving. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate to say this, but some kids cost. It's unfortunate to say this, and I have not charted this yet, but I've asked for the numbers. But if you start thinking about the top several teams in the country, let's see what was spent on assembling the teams. We can sit up and talk about great coaching and great this and great that all we want, but it's gonna be a credit card swipe some kind of way with all these guys going to these playoffs, right? Yeah. I mean, I understand that, and you gotta have a quarterback. If you look commonality, players, quarterback, run game, they can stop the run. That's pretty much what all these pretty darn good teams share.
When you compare the situation when you entered Colorado football and coming to now, even after a loss, how do you describe or how do you feel about the mentality of those kids in the locker room right now?
Tell me, what do you mean by mentality?
how do they approach ending the season, even though it's a loss?
Well, they wanted to win, but they've won. If you were here a year ago, or if you saw kind of what we came into in the spring, they won. They won. Maybe not on the scoreboard week in and week out, but they won. And we got to build off the things that they've been tremendously successful with. We had a chance to win that game. I like that. I really like that, especially without our quarterback. I like that. Especially without some things that I know we're gonna get commitments from in probably about 10 days. I like that. I like where we are. I really do.
With this being the last Pac-12 game in CU football history, how was your experience in year one of the Pac-12, and what message would you have for the Big 12 next year?
I don't give messages, but the Pac-12 was tremendous. I think the thing that people underestimated about the Pac-12 is if you have a good quarterback, you got a chance. And I don't know too many Pac-12 teams that don't feature a darn good quarterback. And oftentimes a team that can run the football. So the people that made a tremendous jump, they got stability at quarterback, and they were able to run the darn football. So this is a tremendous conference that I hate to see abandoned or gone, or whatever word is proper for what's transpiring. And I can't wait to get to where we're going, because that commissioner is a phenomenal human being, phenomenal friend, and I know what he's going to bring to the table, and I know what we're going to bring to the table, and I'm happy that Rick George made it happen. Tremendously happy.
Coach, two-part question about Travis.
About Travis?
Travis. He was phenomenal, obviously. How big of a resource do you think he was for Ryan today? Helping stop?
Travis is a resource for anybody, man. Travis is Travis. I don't even think Travis practiced this whole week. He was sick the whole week, but that's what you get.
And the second part is, with this season now over, how much do you think he developed and kind of learned from this experience of
He's learned
being a two-way player?
Well, Travis has always been a
I
two-way
know,
player.
going through his first college football season, full college football season like that.
Well, I beat Darren Jackson State last year, huh?
Yeah, but he was injured for half. So
yeah, but he played.
Right. But he was a bigger part of the offense than he was at Jackson State.
No, I was there, you know. I was there.
Well, numbers-wise, he was certainly a better.
Well, he played more, but when it was time for those big games, he was there. And he contributed quite a bit. Travis is Travis. You don't have to blow his whistle, man. He is who he is. I wish we could have got that touchdown and gone to the end zone.
You just spoke about running the ball. How big of an emphasis is that moving into next year to get better?
That's number 1A and 1B. Running the football, stopping the run. That's vital. 1A and 1B. And I don't know which one is which.
Coach, maybe a bit of an offbeat question, but you guys use 3 different kickers pretty consistently this season. Do you foresee any?
You mean a kickoff guy, a field goal guy, and a punt guy?
Pretty much that, yes.
Yeah.
Do you see any stability for that position? Maybe get one guy who can do all things?
I don't think they make those guys anymore, do they? They don't. I don't think they make it. I think we got the best punter in the country. Mata is Mata. We got to get more consistency in the kickoff. That's one thing we got to do. We got to make sure we take care of that. The long snapper's done a phenomenal job as well. The kicking game, the kickers, not the kicking game, but the kickers has been, tremendously consistent this year. Tremendously consistent.
Coach, huge emphasis.
How you doing, sir?
Good, sir. How are you? A huge focus during this season, as the season's gone on, has been the offensive line. How do you view that they progress as this season, and how much of a focus in the offseason do you think you'll?
That's a setup, isn't it? You trying to set me up, right? You just a setup question, ain't it? You trying to set me up.
Oh, I'm just wondering how you view they progress through the season. I've seen them improve, only 2 sacks today.
Yeah, that was good. That was great. We're happy. We're happy with the way they played today.
Anything else for Coach?
How do you think Shiloh played this year? I mean, I don't think we kind of he goes under the radar a little bit.
I don't think he does. Not for opposing teams. Shiloh played his butt off this year, man. Shiloh's been consistent. He's not the other brother. He's Shiloh. He's a a force to be reckoned with. I don't know where he finished in tackles. I know that's what he told me all week. Dad, I got to make tackles this game. I want to lead the Pac-12 in tackles or something he was talking about. But he's dominant, man, in what he does. And he comes to play hard, and he brings his lunch pail every week. I'm proud of him. I know he's banged up like crazy, and I'm really, really proud of my son. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for asking for me, man.
Anything else, Coach? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.